Chapter 103. After walking for a long time, Lin Rei's divine sense covered every corner in the depths of the Fengyan sect. Finally, in the truest crypt, Lin Rei discovered a large amount of spiritual energy leaking out. After thinking about it, he concluded that this was either the foundation of the Fengyan sect, or there was a heavenly treasure with a lot of spiritual energy here. Master, is this the place where all the foundations of the Fengyan sect are located? It doesn't look like much. Seeing Lin Rei finally stop, his eyes swept to the floor with different patterns on the ground and asked. I don't know. I have to go in to find out. Be careful when you go in. I don't have extra time to protect you. With that, Lin Rei came to the floor, took out the invincible divine spear from his storage ring, and blasted it towards the floor with all his strength. Boom! After a loud noise, Lin Rei looked at the floor, and his face suddenly turned green. Even a person at the peak of the gold elixir realm would not dare to say that they could block Lin Rei's spear. However, except for a scratch on the floor, there was no other change. Damn, what is this thing? Even my invincible divine spear can't pierce it. Looking at the floor, Lin Rei couldn't help but show a worried expression. He wanted to ask what was going on, but he couldn't bring himself to ask the little dragon. Moss. Master, what is this thing? Even you can't open it. Maybe it's a treasure? At this time, Alienation, who was behind him, came up and joked. Lin Rei, who was sulking, turned even more green. Originally, he wanted to show Alienation how powerful he was, but now, he was too pretentious. Lin Li didn't say anything. Instead, he began to ponder how to open up the floor. Alienation walked around the room, touching here and there. Just as she touched a lamp on the desk, she accidentally twisted her little hand, and a kacha sound could be heard. Damn, this. After Lin Rei, who was on the floor, heard the sound, he looked at the floor under his feet and found that it was hitting a place. Damn, wait for me to go down, okay? With that, Lin Rei quickly jumped down and turned his head to look at Alienation, who was touching the lamp. His eyes revealed a manly expression. Not bad. You know how to use your brain. You definitely won't be at a disadvantage when you go out in the future. Seeing Lin Rei's smile, Alienation's face showed satisfaction, because ever since she was born, Lin Rei had never praised her. Lin Rei's gaze once again turned to the already opened crypt. This time, Lin Rei could easily feel that the dense spirit energy coming from the crypt was obviously much denser than before. Let's go. He didn't even turn his head as he spoke to the distant guard behind him. Then, he led the way into the cave. Strangely enough, Lin Li had thought that there would be many traps, hidden weapons, or formations in the dripping blood cave. But on the way in, he didn't encounter a single one. He was able to reach the depths of the cave without any obstructions. Damn, this is too extravagant. When Lin Rei walked in and saw the things in the depths of the crypt, a shocked expression appeared on his face. He was simply stunned. Is this still something that an ordinary sect should have? Looking at everything in front of him, Lin Rei simply couldn't believe his eyes. Lin Rei was even very surprised. Why did the sect master of the Fengyan sect have so many resources and not give them to his disciples to improve? This place could be said to be splendid, with everything one wanted. If this was in his previous life, Lin Rei would have fainted from happiness. However, after more than a year of experience, these things in front of him no longer tempted Lin Rei, or it could be said that Lin Rei had already become indifferent to them. Wow! At this moment, Alienation, who had been following behind Lin Li, walked in as well. He saw what Lin Li was seeing, but there was no greed in his eyes. Instead, there was only shock and amazement. This was none other than a palace made of gold that could be used to eat. Not only that, there were many other things stored within the palace as well. As far as the eye could see, there were all kinds of things. For example, there were medicinal pills. There were medicine bottles piled up like a mountain. There were also countless instruments. Spiritual herbs were also packed in jade boxes. There were even more treasures for refining instruments. However, the most eye-catching thing was still the secret books of cultivation methods placed on the bookshelves. What's the matter? You are stuck here. Just these few things made you look like this. If outsiders see this, they will think that Master has mistreated you. Seeing his disciple's expression when he saw the things in the crypt, Lin Rei didn't know what to say. Although Lin Rei was very tempted by so many things, as a benevolent master, Lin Rei pretended to be calm and shouted at alienation. Master, you are talking about me. Aren't you the same? I didn't even drool. Hearing his master's shameless face, alienation didn't expose him. Instead, he pointed at Lin Rei's mouth and whispered. Seeing where alienation was pointing, Lin Rei quickly wiped the saliva off his face. His face immediately turned as red as his butt. His heart was filled with embarrassment. Ahem. Okay, let's not talk about this. Since we are here, how can we live up to our masterpiece tonight if we don't bring some things? Saying that, Lin Rei took out a spatial ring from his interspatial ring and threw it at alienation. He said, Here, recognize this as your master. Then use the spatial ring to store everything here. Take as much as you can. When you can't store everything, come find me. I have a lot of spatial rings here. After saying that, Lin Rei didn't care about alienation anymore. He went into the spirit treasure alone and tried his best to store everything in the spatial ring as if it was none of his business. Is this still the master I know? Seeing Lin Rei's performance right now, it was very valuable. He was completely different from the person he had been in the past month. It could be said that he was a completely different person. Alienation didn't think too much at this time. He quickly refined the spatial ring Lin Rei gave him and threw himself into the looting operation. It wasn't too much, but it wasn't too little either. After spending an entire hour, Lin Rei and alienation used a total of 8 spatial rings to store everything in the cave. Looking at the spatial ring in his hand, Lin Rei had a satisfied expression on his face. Alienation helplessly shook his head at the side. Alright, everything here is done. It's time for us to leave. I suspect that the reason why we were able to destroy the sect so quickly this time is because their elites have all gone out, including the experts with high cultivation. Therefore, we can't stay here for even a moment. After saying that, Lin Rei didn't wait for alienation's reply. Lin Rei quickly walked out of the cave. Alienation was already used to this kind of thing, so he didn't say much and quickly followed after him. Night always passed by quickly. Those who were premeditated had already started to act. At this time, on the western continent, the Sun Sect master was leading almost all of his combat power towards the Danzong sect. These people were all flying on their swords. It was obvious that this group of people's strength was really extraordinary. Sect master, what should we do? I don't know why the Sun sect has gathered more than half of their sect's combat power. They are coming towards our sect aggressively. It's obvious that they don't have good intentions. At this time, in the conference hall of the Danzong sect, the second elder received the news from the outside. After reading it, his expression changed drastically. He couldn't care less about anything else and came here to report to Sect Master Dan Yunzi. He was so frightened that cold sweat had already dripped down his face. What? The Sun sect has gathered their forces and is coming towards our sect? When Dan Yunzi heard the news, he stood up from his seat. His eyes were filled with shock, fear, and disbelief. That's right, senior brother sect leader. I just received the news too. So, I hurried over to see what we should do about this matter. After confirming the accuracy of the news, Dan Yunzi fell silent. At this time, his mind was in a mess. Was this because they were caught off guard? The Great Elder and the Supreme Elder had left. If someone were to challenge the sect now, there was no chance of winning at all. Not to mention, the Sun sect was as famous as the Danzong sect. Their combat power couldn't be underestimated. What should we do? The Great Elder and Supreme Elder Baiyu are not here. If the Sun sect's people attack, how can we resist? Hearing Dan Yunzi muttering to himself, the second elder was completely dispirited. No, the Danzong sect can't be destroyed in my hands. We still have the young master. As long as the young master comes back, our sect will still have a chance to survive. Yes, young master. Dan Yunzi, who was still worried, suddenly thought of Lin Rei. In an instant, all the gloomy clouds disappeared. Second elder, quickly pass down the order. Find some trustworthy disciples and then use the upper-grade spirit stones to protect the sect. Don't let the Sun sect's people break through in a short period of time. As long as we can wait until the young master comes back, then, speaking of this, Dan Yunzi's eyes couldn't help but reveal an excited look. The second elder, who was standing below, also smiled. This was completely different from the look of fear he had before. Yes, I'll do it right away. After saying that, the second elder took the order and walked out of the hall. Dan Yunzi, who was sitting on the sect master's throne, quickly took out a jade pendant and said something into the jade pendant. The jade pendant then turned into a ray of light and flew towards the east. Its speed was extremely fast, and it disappeared in the blink of an eye. At this time, after the second elder told everyone about the Sun sect's matter, everyone in the Danzong sect took action. Suddenly, the entire Danzong sect became busy. Lin Rei, who was in the east, didn't know what was happening in his own sect. At this time, after Lin Rei left the Fengyun sect, his heart was in a mess. In the end, he decided to go to the Lin family where he used to be. Master, are we going to? After coming out, Li Yuan had always wanted to ask, but he didn't have the right opportunity until now. Now that he was sitting down, he seized the opportunity to ask. I used to live here. When I was young, my life was only a little better than that of a beggar. Apart from having a broken house, I didn't even know if I could eat for a day. I was a bastard son who only worried about eating every day. I was also a child with relatives and family, but they all lived in very good houses. It could be said that in that city, our family was already the #1 family. But in such a family, I lived worse than a dog. I had to suffer all kinds of abuse every day. In the end, the head of the Lin family, which is my father, forced me to lose my cultivation and drove me out of the house. Speaking of this, Lin Rei's eyes narrowed. This wasn't a deliberate act by Lin Rei. Perhaps it was because Lin Rei inherited the memory and body of the previous master. Although Lin Rei knew that he had nothing to do with the so-called Lin family, he still felt a little uncomfortable when it was mentioned. Hearing his master talk about his past, Li Yuan felt a wave of sadness in his heart. But when he thought about his master's current status, he felt a lot better. A year ago, I was driven out of the house. At that time, I saw an ant who wasn't even a qi condensation cultivator. I only had the money I stole from the Lin family's geniuses. In the end, I had to bring along Lin Tian, who grew up with me. Later, I entered the forest mountain range and stayed there for a few months. Only then did I achieve what I have today. At this moment, the estranged man's eyes were wide open, and his mouth was also wide open. Apart from his shocked expression, Linley could guess that the estranged man was shocked that he was able to break through all the obstacles in a year and reach the middle Oris core stage. Then, this is the main point I want to say. As long as you can hover on the edge of death, you can break through, and you can even break through continuously. So, don't just look at my surface. I achieved what I have today by walking on the edge of life and death. Listening to Lin Rei's earnest teachings, Li Yuan understood the meaning of Lin Rei's words. For a moment, Li Yuan's admiration for Lin Rei increased. Well, I'd better hurry up and leave now. After I'm done here, I probably won't have to come here again. After speaking, Lin Li mounted his flying sword and flew towards the Lin clan at high speed. His speed was so fast that it gave anyone a headache, and it also gave Alienation, who was hot on his heels, a headache. To a Jin Dan practitioner like Linley, this bit of distance was nothing at all. After a short while, Linley arrived at the Lin clan's residence. At this moment, Linley had landed in a place where no one was around. He put away his flying sword, then arrived at the Lin clan's main gate. His heart was filled with mixed feelings. Phew. I'm back. I'll definitely get my revenge. I, Lin Ray, always finish what I started. He stood at the door and looked up at the Lin province that had been gone for a long time. After muttering a few words to himself, he lifted his foot and wanted to walk into the Lin family's gate. However, at this time, the guard at the gate stopped Lin Ray. Chapter 104. Child, go play somewhere else. Is this a place where you can come to? Why don't you take a look at your own status? Lin Ray's anger was completely ignited when he saw the two guards threatening him with their master's power. Humph, bastards. Is my master someone you can talk about? You really don't want to live anymore. Just as Lin Ray was about to make a move, Feng Yuan's voice was heard. He sounded very angry. He directly threw 2 punches and the 2 guards were immediately killed on the spot. Damn, who is this? He dares to cause trouble in the Lin family. He really doesn't know what's good for him. I heard that the head of the Lin family has already entered the period of fasting. That's right. Judging from his appearance, he doesn't seem to be a local. Who cares? Whether he lives or dies has nothing to do with us. Some passers-by had gathered around when they saw Feng Yuan's attack. They chatted with each other, and the atmosphere was very lively. Lin Ray didn't care when he heard this. He couldn't kill all these passers-by, could he? Alright, Feng Yuan. I'm here to settle accounts with their higher-ups. Knock these people out. Yes, master. Hearing his master's order, Feng Yuan didn't kill them. Let's go. After speaking, Lin Ray walked into the depths of the courtyard first. When he saw Feng Yuan, he was knocked unconscious by Feng Yuan before he could react. He then arrived at the meeting hall of the Lin family without any obstructions. It was also the place where he had left in the beginning. Sigh, it's been a year. This time, I'm going to get back all the humiliation I suffered here. Lin Ray raised his head and looked at his surroundings. He looked at the place where he had lived for more than 10 years. He didn't have any nostalgia, only hatred and loathing. Go outside and shout for all the higher-ups of the Lin family to come here. Lin Ray, who had been lamenting for a long time, looked at Feng Yuan, who was standing there motionlessly, and ordered him. Yes, I'll go now. Hearing his master's orders, Shi Yuan immediately walked out and shouted towards the sky, Lin family's protectors, deacons, elders, and other higher-ups, I give you 2 minutes to come to the meeting room. If anyone dares to not come, then your Lin family can wait to be exterminated. Immediately, a distant voice swept through the surroundings. The entire Lin family, as well as the entire city, heard it. Who is he? How dare he speak to the Lin family like that? Does he not want to live anymore? At this moment, it wasn't just the people of the Lin family that were talking about this. Everyone in the city was talking about this after hearing the estranged words. Everyone said the same thing. Meanwhile, the Lin family was in an uproar. Others might not know, but the upper echelons of the Lin family knew very well that the cultivation of the person who shouted was definitely above theirs. Otherwise, why would their blood and chi surge uncontrollably when they shouted? Clan leader, is something wrong? After shouting for a long time, there was no response. The disciple braced himself and pushed open the door to enter. In the end, there was no one inside. At this moment, all the upper echelons of the Lin family immediately gathered in the meeting room after hearing Shi Yuan's voice. None of them dared to refuse because the person who shouted had a higher cultivation than them. Come in, all of you. Stand at the door. At this moment, Lin Ray, who was sitting in the meeting room, sensed the situation outside and spoke to the people outside. Not long after he spoke, a group of people walked in one after another. Lin Ray recognized the person in the lead. It was none other than his cheap father who had once wanted to cripple his cultivation. Senior, dare I ask, my Lin family has never offended you. May I ask why you are here today? As the head of the Lin family, Lin Ray was naturally the first to speak. However, from what Lin Ray could see, Lin Ba was clearly no longer as domineering as he had been when he chased him away. Huh, my good father, have you forgotten about me so quickly? That really makes me bitterly disappointed. Looking at Lin Baishan's expression, Lin Ray didn't feel anything. However, when he said the words good father, he placed extra emphasis on them. At this moment, Lin Ray only knew that he had to take revenge. After all, he wasn't Lin Ba's real son. What? Lin Ray's words completely stunned everyone present. Their eyes were filled with disbelief and shock. You are Lin Ray? Lin Batian was shocked. When he heard Lin Ray call him father, he had a bad premonition. That's right. I am Lin Ray, the one who was crippled by you back then. Don't you think it's strange? Even now, I still remember the scene very clearly. You were so heartless back then, and the elder who broke my bones. His words carried a powerful aura that swept through the crowd. In an instant, apart from Lin Ray himself, an estranged man, everyone else couldn't stand the pressure and knelt on the ground. Some of the weaker ones even fell to the ground. You. How did you? Are you trying to ask me how I managed to reach such a high level of cultivation? Hearing Lin Baishan's words, Lin Li knew what he was going to say next. This is all because of you. The reason why I have such a strong cultivation is to come back for revenge. I want revenge. Those who bullied me in the past, I want revenge. I want revenge. I want revenge. Those who bullied me in the past, I want revenge. As he spoke, Lin Li raised his hand, and instantly, a powerful image of himself appeared in his palm, charging towards one of the members of the Lin clan. Enforcer, do you still remember me? You were the one who brought me to the Enforcer Hall. Bang! Before the man could reply, his head was crushed by Lin Ray's hand. The scene was horrifying and bloody. Most of the people present had never experienced such a scene before, and they all held their stomachs and vomited. Only Lin Batian was still standing straight and looking straight at Lin Ray. Lin Ray, it was my fault. It was all because of me, it has nothing to do with them. If you want to kill me, kill me. I only beg you to let them go. Lin Batian knelt on the ground and kowtowed to Lin Ray. Seeing this, Lin Ray's heart trembled for a moment. Why didn't you listen to my request when you said you wanted to destroy my cultivation? Now you're begging me, don't you think it's a bit late? After speaking, yet another person was pulled over by Lin Li. This person was the elder who had interrogated him, as well as the one who had broken his fingers. You're the elder who broke my finger back then. I remember that when I left, I said that I would definitely come back to take revenge on you. Now, I've specially come back from the south to take revenge on you. After saying that, Lin Ray's hand tightened and a "kacha" sound was heard. The elder's body went limp and fell to the ground. Blood flowed out of his 7 orifices and there were some white substances mixed in. His eyes were wide open and he couldn't believe that the child he had injured could grow to such a level in just a year. Looking at the lifeless body lying on the ground, Lin Li's eyes didn't show any emotion at all, except for when the old man had died. There was a slight smile on his face, but everything else was the same as before. His eyes were cold and emotionless. How could you do this? No matter what, they are your elders. How could you kill them? Lin Batian, who was still kneeling on the ground, couldn't accept the fact that his elder had died in front of him. More importantly, his elder had died in his own hands. Son, you still have the face to talk to me about son. When I left, I already made it very clear that I am no longer your son, and I have nothing to do with the Lin family. Have you forgotten? Lin Baishan's face was filled with awkwardness as he choked back his words. I didn't think that there would be such a powerful person here. Just as Lin Ray and Lin Batian were arguing, Lin Ray suddenly noticed 2 cultivators who were much stronger than him flying towards him. Under Lin Ray's consciousness, the 2 cultivators were very fast. In a few seconds, they landed in the Lin family's meeting hall. The two cultivators kept their flying swords and pushed through the crowd. They immediately saw Linley, who was seated at the head of the table. Instantly, the two of them became extremely excited. They immediately rushed forward and knelt on the ground as they spoke excitedly. "Greetings, young master. Where have you been for the past few months? We had a hard time looking for you." Two people had suddenly barged into Linley's room and were even kneeling on the ground to worship Linley. Instantly, the brains of everyone in the Lin clan short-circuited. When Linley, who was seated at the head of the table, saw the two of them, a rare smile appeared on his face. "So it's by you and Grand Elder. What are you doing here? I don't think I told you that I was born here." Seeing the two of them arrive, Linley felt very puzzled. How did the two of them know that he was here? "Sigh, young master. After looking for you in the Cloud Pagoda, there was no trace of you. We only found out after asking Lin Tian. We were ordered by the Sect master to look for you and tell you important news." Seeing how excited the two of them were, Linley hurriedly used his power to pull them up from the ground. "All right, I'll catch up with you after I'm done with these people. Stand to the side and watch." Hearing Linley's order, White Feather obediently stood to the side, not saying anything else. "Lin Batian, it was all because of you. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have been able to endure their anger for more than 10 years. If it wasn't for you, my mother wouldn't have died." As he spoke, Linley dragged Lin Batian in front of him and grabbed him by the neck. If Linley exerted even the slightest bit of strength, Lin Batian would die instantly. "Don't, little brother, don't kill father." Just as Lin Ray was about to end everything here, a voice rang out. Lin Ray knew from the voice that this was the cheap big brother who called out to him before he left. "Oh, why can't I kill him? Also, don't call me little brother. I've never acknowledged you as my big brother." Upon hearing Linley's words, the expression on the youth's face changed. His body trembled slightly, and tears welled up in his eyes. All right, Lin Ray, I beg you, don't call him father. No matter what he did wrong, he is still your father. If you kill him like this, you will suffer retribution." As he spoke, the tears in the youth's eyes began to flow uncontrollably. The tear-stained youth returned to Linley's side. Looking at his father in Linley's hands, the youth's heart ached even more. "Humph, fine, I promise you I won't kill Lin Batian. But even if I don't kill him, I will cripple his cultivation. From now on, the Lin family will have nothing to do with me. I will never appear in the Lin family again." As he spoke, Lin Ray's hand flew towards Lin Batian's abdomen. But how could Lin Batian allow Lin Ray to cripple his cultivation so easily? When Lin Ray released him, Lin Batian tried to escape. "Humph, do you think you can escape from me with that little cultivation of yours? What a joke." As he spoke, Linley formed a hand seal and sent it towards Lin Batian. Instantly, Lin Batian, who had been sent tumbling backwards, froze in place. Of course, only his eyes and mouth were able to speak and blink like a normal person. You can't do this, you can't do this." Lin Batian struggled when he saw that his body couldn't move. But in the end, it was useless. "Humph, now be a good boy and let me do whatever I want to you." As he spoke, Lin Ray took a step forward and appeared in front of Lin Batian. In an instant, his hand shot towards Lin Batian's dantian at a speed no one could see clearly. Immediately, a terrifying amount of spiritual energy rushed out of Lin Batian's body and dissipated in the air. Pfft! Lin Batian spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. His face paled and his aura weakened. Seeing Lin Batian in this state, the young man's heart ached so much that he couldn't breathe. But at that moment, a ray of light rushed in from outside and came to Bai Yu's side. "Yes, this is the Sect's teleportation item. It can only be used when the Sect is on the brink of death. Could it be that the Sect is in danger?" Bai Yu took the jade pendant and injected some spiritual energy into it. Suddenly, Dan Yunzi's voice appeared in the hall. Supreme Elder, Sun Zong took advantage of the fact that the sect was empty and brought the entire sect's strength to challenge the sect. I ordered the other elders to activate the sect's protective formation, but it can only last for 3 days at most. I hope you can come back within 3 days. If you can find the young master, that would be even better. If the young master is here, then the sect can be saved. I hope you can come back as soon as possible. The lives of the entire sect are all in your hands. At that moment, Lin Rei and Bai Yu looked at each other and didn't say anything. Lin Rei was very anxious. The Danzong sect was a great help for him to establish the Xuanzong sect in the future. If the Danzong sect was occupied, then it would be even more difficult to establish the Xuanzong sect in the future. After finding this place, Lin Rei quickly said to everyone, Bai Yu, let's go quickly. If Sun Zong breaks the sect's protective formation, then the lives of Dan Yunzi and the entire sect, yes, I have the same idea. Then let's not delay any longer, let's go. Then, Lin Rei didn't hesitate and left the Lin family's heavy responsibility. He took a strange to the courtyard. Little golden dragon, I have a very urgent matter right now. I'll have to trouble you to bring us back to the western region. As he spoke, Linli released the little golden dragon from within the cloud pagoda. Instantly, a draconic roar could be heard. Chapter 105. Roar. Almost all of the cultivators present, including those above the Gold Core realm, were knocked unconscious by the dragon's roar. The people who were still standing looked at the divine beast in front of them with a dumbfounded expression. The Grand Elder and High Elder of the Dan sect were a bit better. After all, they had seen a black dragon before. But now, another one had appeared. No matter how good their endurance was, they would be scared to death by Linli's actions. This golden dragon seems to have come from Lin Rei's body. At this time, the Lin family regained their senses. They looked at the golden dragon in front of them and then at Lin Rei. In an instant, they were filled with regret. They regretted that they had bullied Lin Rei because of his status. They regretted that they had chased Lin Rei out of the Lin family. If it weren't for those things, this kind of talent would be a part of the Lin family right now. Sigh. Lin Batian, who had been stunned by Lin Rei, immediately regretted that he hadn't fulfilled his responsibilities as a father. He regretted that he had chased his son out of the Lin family. But he also knew that there was no medicine for regret in this world. What could he do now that things had come to this? Alright, don't be in a daze. The sect's matters cannot be delayed. Let's hurry up and go. With that, Lin Rei took the lead and jumped onto the dragon's head. The Grand Elder and the others also jumped onto the dragon's back. Roar. Suddenly, there was a roar of anger. Aside from Lin Rei, everyone standing on the dragon's back turned pale and trembled uncontrollably. Looking at them, it seemed like they wanted to jump off immediately. Huh, aren't you scared? In any case, you are the Grand Elder and Grand Elder of the sect. You're not as brave as my disciple. As he spoke, Linli turned his gaze towards Alienated. But as soon as he did, Linli felt utterly humiliated. Alienated had been so frightened that he was sprawled across the draconic back, his hands clutching his head as his entire body trembled. Ha ha ha. Suddenly, this became a conversation between Bai Yu and the Grand Elder when they were bored. Fuck, can't you save some face for me? In any case, I am the person in charge of a sect. How can you be so cowardly? After speaking, he saw that Estranged still didn't get up. Linli didn't say anything else, but in his heart, he secretly swore that after returning to the school, he would definitely make Estranged undergo hellish training. Otherwise, when he went out, he would lose face. Alright, sit tight. Linli patted the little golden dragon's head as he spoke, and the little golden dragon immediately transformed into a streak of golden light that flew toward the west. It was so fast that the passers-by could only see a streak of light passing by, but they couldn't see what it was at all. Of course, the only exceptions were some of the more powerful cultivators, such as body integration stage beings. As for the Lin family, after Lin Ray left, everyone relaxed. However, the fear in their hearts didn't lessen at all because of Lin Ray's disappearance. Father, how are you? At this moment, the first young master of the Lin family saw that Lin Li and the rest had left and immediately went to Lin Baishan's side to support him, his face full of heartache. Sigh, it's over, it's all over. I only have myself to blame for this. Forget it, since I have lost my cultivation, you can take over as the next head of the family. That way, I can retire. Looking at his son, Lin Baishan's face revealed a satisfied smile. However, behind that smile, there was a trace of despair. He pulled the young man to the center of the Lin family and solemnly said to the upper echelons of the family. From today onwards, I, Lin Batian, will pass the position of head of the family to my eldest son. From today onwards, I will no longer interfere with the affairs of the Lin family. This will be effective from today onwards. Saying this, Lin Batian took out a golden token from his waist and handed it to the young man. In an instant, the young man took the token with a serious expression and nodded to Lin Batian. Because of Lin Ray's appearance, the only person in the Lin family who had reached the Enidia realm, Lin Batian, was crippled of his cultivation. Because of this, the morale of the Lin family fell. At this time, in the west, a huge incident had happened. The moment it happened, the news spread across the entire West mainland. The Sun Sect had begun a destructive attack on the Danzong Sect. However, because the Danzong Sect had been one of the top sects for a long time, the patriarch of the Danzong Sect had invited a very powerful array master to set up a spirit-locking array. It was said that this array could be used for both offense and defense. Most importantly, it could absorb spiritual energy from the outside world and increase the cultivation speed of the Danzong Sect. However, the biggest drawback of this array was that it required a large amount of spiritual stones to activate. At this time, in the main hall of the Danzong Sect, all the elders were like ants on a hot pan. They kept pacing back and forth with anxious expressions on their faces. It was easy to see that they were in a bad mood. Dan Yunzi, who was sitting at the head of the table, was in a better state. After all, he was the sect master of the Danzong Sect. If even he was panicking, then the Danzong Sect would really be finished. Alright, aren't you all tired? Even if you aren't, I am. What's the use of being anxious? What's going to come will come, and what's not going to come will not come even if you want it. So be quiet, maybe in the next few days, the great elder will bring the young master back to support us. This was the truth. Everyone in the main hall knew very well that Dan Yunzi was just saying this to comfort himself. However, people always had to have faith. If they didn't have faith, then it was really, alright, you all can go. Pay attention to the movements of the array. If there are any abnormal changes, immediately inform me, understand? Yes, we understand. Senior brother Sect Master, we will take our leave first. Hearing Dan Yunzi's words, all the elders present bowed to Dan Yunzi one by one, then walked out and went to guard the formation. Sigh, young master, you must come back quickly. The survival of the sect depends on you. At this moment, after watching his junior brothers leave, Dan Yunzi stood up and looked into the distance with a glimmer of hope in his eyes as he muttered to himself. Outside the Danzong Sect, there were some people who were madly smashing the Danzong Sect with the weapons in their hands. However, because of the Great Sect Protection Array, this group of people could not break it no matter how much strength they used. Sect Master, the Great Sect Protection Array of the Pill Sect was created by a top-notch formation master that we hired from the Central Continent back then. It won't be easy to break the formation. We'll need at least 2 to 3 more days. In Sun Sect's encampment, an elder returned to the encampment after observing the Danzong Sect's Great Sect Protection Array and reported to Sun Sect's Sect Master. When Sun Sect's Sect Master heard that elder's words, he immediately jumped up anxiously and said angrily, I don't care about their Great Sect Protection Array. I only know that I have to break it as soon as possible. What if the Danzong Sect's Great Elder and Supreme Elder come during this period of time? After saying that, all the elders present fell silent for a moment because what Sun Sect's sect master said was exactly what they were worried about. It was not that their sect could not defeat the Danzong sect, but it would not be easy for their sect to suffer heavy losses. Alright, you guys hurry up and think of a way. I don't care what method you use. You have to do it within 1 day. No, I'll give you 2 days. If you can't complete the task I gave you in 2 days, then I'll really. At this point, Sun Sect's sect master did not continue because what he was going to say next might destroy the beneficial relationship between them. Yes. Sect master, I understand. Please give me a little more time. I'll definitely do it well. After saying that, the elder left to think of a way. As for the elders and sect masters who stayed in the encampment, they all looked worried as they tried to think of a way. The elder who came out to think of a way immediately left the encampment and went to a secluded place. He left a note and left. Not long after Sun Sect's elder left, a person wearing the Danzong sect's uniform came and took the note left behind by the elder. On the note, it said, "Hurry up and think of a way to break the Great Sect Protection Array. Sun Sect will definitely fulfill our promise to you after you succeed. Furthermore, we will only give you more, not less." This simple sentence made Sun Sect's disciple look troubled. The struggle in his eyes was very obvious. However, people's hearts were often tempted by benefits. In the end, the disciple was conquered by the benefits on the note. A flame appeared in the young man's palm. The moment the note came into contact with the flame, it turned into ashes. It doesn't matter if the Danzong sect is gone. Anyway, there are so many sects in the world. One more won't make a difference, the young man muttered to himself and walked into the distance. What the Danzong sect didn't know was that their own sect had been unintentionally bought by their own disciples. At the moment, they were still happily counting the money they had earned from selling their own sect. After doing all this, the elder who had left the note returned to the meeting hall of Sun Sect's encampment. When he arrived at the meeting hall and felt the stifling mood in the hall, the elder immediately explained the method to break the array formation. Alright, sect master, cheer up. I've already solved the problem. Just wait patiently. In a day or two, the Danzong sect's Great Sect Protection Array will automatically dissipate. An incomparably shocking news came. Immediately, everyone in the hall became excited. Looking at everyone's excited appearance, the elder's heart was filled with pride. Not bad. Wang Jinghua, you've done very well. This time, I'll definitely give you the best credit. Time passed very quickly after this incident. Some people felt that time passed very slowly, while others felt that many years had passed. 2 days passed quietly just like that. However, the Danzong sect's Great Sect Protection Array was still exactly the same as before. There were no changes at all. Sun Sect's sect master, who was furious, immediately brought Wang Jinghua into the meeting hall. Wang Jinghua, how should you be punished? 2 days have already passed. Why is the Danzong sect's Great Sect Protection Array still as indestructible as it was a few days ago? You have to give me an explanation. Sun Sect's sect master was furious as he looked at Wang Jinghua. He really wanted to kill Wang Jinghua right there and then, but when he thought about how he needed a confidant, he dismissed this thought. Sect master, please believe me. If I say that I can break the Danzong sect's Great Sect Protection Array, then I can definitely report. Right when Wang Jinghua was about to continue, a disciple walked in with an excited expression on his face. What is it? Can't you see that this seed is talking with Elder Wang? How did you learn the rules of the sect? When he saw that disciple, Sun Sect's sect master, who was about to explode, immediately exploded with anger the moment that disciple walked in. Sect master, this disciple didn't come here on purpose. It's second elder who sent me here to inform sect master that the Danzong sect's Great Sect Protection Array has been broken. We will have to wait for sect master's arrival to personally command us. That disciple did not even raise his head. His heart was filled with panic, and his body was trembling non-stop as he knelt on the ground and reported to Sun Sect's sect master. For a moment, Sun Sect's sect master was unable to react. He was stunned. You're saying that the Danzong Sect's great sect protection array has been broken? It was not that Sun Sect's sect master did not believe Wang Jingguo's words. Rather, this was something that could not be determined by imagination. Yes, sect master. Second elder sent me here to inform you personally. If you don't believe me, you can go and ask second elder. After obtaining confirmation, Sun Sect's sect master looked at that disciple and Wang Jingguo. However, the anger from before was no longer present. Especially when he looked at Wang Jingguo, there was a trace of guilt and awkwardness in his eyes. Elder Wang, let's go. Follow this seat to witness the defeat of the Danzong sect. After saying that, Sun Sect's sect master stepped forward and grabbed Wang Jingguo's hand. Then, they walked toward the entrance of the Danzong sect. At the same time that the great sect protection array was broken, the disciples of the two sects had already started fighting. The upper echelons of the Danzong sect were puzzled. Their great sect protection array was considerably powerful. Furthermore, they had estimated that the great sect protection array would last for 3 to 4 days. However, only 2 days had passed. What's going on? Why is the great sect protection array activated now? It hasn't even been activated yet. Why is this happening? At this moment, on a mountain peak not far away from the Danzong sect, Dan Yunzi roared furiously at the various elders. This. Immediately, the various elders were at a loss for words. The reason for that was because they had the same thoughts as Dan Yunzi. However, this was the reality. The great sect protection array had been broken, and the people from the Sun sect had already rushed in. The Danzong sect was about to face the danger of being exterminated. Sect master, now is not the time to talk about this. The most important thing right now is to quickly go out and fight. You also know that our Danzong sect is, after all, only an alchemy sect. We are incomparable to the battle power of the Sun sect. If all of our disciples are killed, what will happen to the Danzong sect in the future? At this moment, a new elder standing at the back of the group spoke. Immediately, everyone came to a sudden realization. They hurriedly looked at the elder who spoke with gratitude and bowed deeply. Chapter 106. That's right. The most important thing now is to protect the sect's disciples. We must defend the sect with our lives. We must protect the sect even if we have to shed our last drop of blood. We can't let you all kneel in the hands of our generation. After saying that, all the elders and disciples raised the weapons in their hands and rushed towards the sect. In order to protect the dignity of their sect, for their relatives and children, and for the home that they lived in here, everyone present showed an expression of vowing to fight to the death. Huh, you fools. Don't you feel vexed to follow a sect that doesn't have the ability to protect you? Look at us. There are so many experts in our sect. Do you think the Danzong sect has any chance of surviving? As the saying goes, it's better to kill the heart than to kill the heart. After hearing Sun Zong's words, some of the Danzong sect's disciples who were fighting to the death stopped what they were doing one after another. Their eyes were filled with hesitation and struggle. You, Sun Zong, our Danzong sect has no enmity with you in the past. Why are you treating our sect like this? At this moment, Dan Yunzi, who was standing at the side, was furious when he saw the actions of his sect's disciples. At the same time, his eyes were filled with shame towards those disciples who had stopped. He had never thought that he would get such an outcome in exchange for painstakingly grooming them. You cowardly, ungrateful beasts. Sect master has always treated us well. Let's talk about you, Zhu Zi. You were originally a child who was often bullied by others. Moreover, your parents were sick all year round. If it wasn't for Sect Master, you wouldn't be where you are now. If it wasn't for Sect Master, your parents would probably have died long ago. I didn't expect that in front of the enemy today, you would actually hesitate whether to give up the sect or not. Do you know how the word shame is written? Do you know how to write the word shame? At this moment, a disciple who was standing at the back walked out and pointed at a middle-aged man in front of him. He roared and cursed. His voice was loud and clear. Every word he said directly hit the hearts of those disciples who were hesitating. Suddenly, everything about Dan Yunzi and the sect in the past appeared in their minds. The scene calmed down. After everyone heard the man's words, some of the disciples who had done something wrong all had ashamed expressions on their faces. "You're right. You're right. All of this is my fault. Sect Master has treated me well. I can't do this. If it weren't for Sect Master, I wouldn't be where I am now, let alone standing here hesitating about which camp to join." With that, the middle-aged man named Zhu Zi hurriedly returned to the Danzong section Xing. With a guilty expression, he came before Dan Yunzi and said, "Sect Master, it was my fault just now. Please don't convict me now. If I can defeat the enemy and survive, it won't be too late to convict me then." His voice was firm and firm. Dan Yunzi's heart was filled with joy. How could he blame him? "All right, Zhu Zi. Let's talk about it after this matter is over." After saying that, Dan Yunzi's gaze shifted from Zhu Zi to the Sun Sect's camp. Although most of the people had returned to their own camp, there were still some people who had separated from the Danzong sect and went to the opposite camp. As the sect master of the Danzong sect, not to mention how sad he was, the most important thing was that Dan Yunzi felt that what he had done to them all these years was not worth it. That was all. After all, everyone had the right to be angry. "All right, from today onwards, I won't blame those who have separated from the Danzong sect. However, since you have chosen the opposite side, then there's no need to care about the youths of the past on the battlefield. Kill, kill, kill." While Dan Yunzi was speaking, his eyes couldn't help but moisten. No one noticed this. After sorting out his emotions, Dan Yunzi looked in the direction of the Sun sect. He raised the sword in his hand and rushed towards the Sun sect with a murderous aura. The battle had begun once again. The situation was out of control. The sect masters of the two sects had already engaged in a battle. As for the supreme elder of the Danzong sect, he was entangled by a person of similar strength and couldn't get away. As for the elders of the two sects, they were all engaged in their own battles. The scene was extremely chaotic. "Humph, Dan Yunzi, look around. Your disciples are almost dead now. Do you still want to put up a useless resistance? Do you know that your disciples will be exhausted if you continue like this? Why don't you ask them to stop fighting and join me? This way, not only can I provide them with a good cultivation environment, but I can also help them avoid this unnecessary war. What do you think?" At this time, the sect master of the Sun sect, who had already fought for hundreds of rounds, discussed with Dan Yunzi. Seeing that the casualties of the Danzong sect's disciples were getting more and more serious, his tone began to soften. "Humph, you wish. But do you think that I will let you succeed? Moreover, it's not up to me to decide. The sect is their home. If someone wants to destroy your home, what will you do? You. Fine, fine, fine. Since you don't know what's good for you, then don't blame me." After saying that, the sect master of the Sun sect, who was originally fighting with Dan Yunzi, suddenly withdrew from the battle and retreated. Seeing this scene, Dan Yunzi was puzzled. He didn't know what the sect master of the Sun sect was planning to do. After retreating, the sect master of the Sun sect came to the side of an old man who had been watching for a long time and said, "Old ancestor, hurry up and kill them. Originally, I wanted to take Dan Yunzi as my disciple. But now, it seems that it's impossible. If we delay, there might be a change in the situation. Just in case." When the old man heard the sect master of the Sun sect's words, he thought for a while and felt that it was indeed reasonable. So, he nodded and agreed. "Fine. Since you are the current sect master of the Sun sect, I presume that what you are doing is for the future development of the sect. In that case, I will help you this time." After saying that, a lotus appeared under the old man's feet. With a step, he disappeared from where he was standing. When Dan Yunzi, who was standing at the entrance of the Danzong sect, saw this scene, his eyes widened. His face was filled with disbelief and panic. It was as if he had seen something that he didn't dare to believe. How is this possible? That just now seemed to be the teleportation technique of the fusion technique. When did the Sun sect have such a powerful existence? Although he was surprised, he still had to resist. However, at this moment, Dan Yunzi was filled with a sense of powerlessness. He originally thought that the Sun sect only had this little bit of combat power. Even if they couldn't fight to a draw, at least they wouldn't lose too badly. But now, the Sun sect had a cultivator whose cultivation was probably above the fusion stage. This had already disrupted his original plan. May I ask who Senior is? Are you a member of the Sun sect? Seeing that the old man suddenly appeared and asked for money, the powerless Dan Yunzi looked at him and asked. His tone was filled with helplessness. That's right. I am the junior brother of the founder of the Sun sect. Originally, I had been in seclusion. But after coming out of seclusion, I found out that my senior brother had been dead for many years. This lowly sect master found me and told me his plan. So, I came here. Hearing the old man's words, Dan Yunzi finally understood. So, this old man was an old ancestor-level existence. Originally, Dan Yunzi was still thinking that he was lucky to lose this old man. But now, it seemed that he didn't have any chance at all. Senior, I know that I can't escape today no matter what I say. But, I just want to ask you to let the people of my sect go. I am willing to die in their place. While speaking, Dan Yunzi knelt in front of the old man and begged sincerely. Even though Dan Yunzi didn't have any hope for the old ancestor-level existence in front of him. Sigh, I'm sorry. As the saying goes, if you don't remove the roots when cutting the weeds, they will grow again when the spring breeze blows. This is a very clear truth. If I don't kill them all, what if a member of the Danzong sect wants to kill the disciples of my Sun sect? So, I'm sorry. After finishing his words, the old man quickly flashed towards the disciples of the Danzong sect. In an instant, he arrived in front of the disciples of the Danzong sect and slashed their throats with his sword. Those disciples of the Danzong sect didn't even understand how they died. They didn't even feel any pain as they were already lying on the cold ground. Oh. No. When Dan Yunzi saw this scene, he quickly released all of his cultivation and began to fight back against the old man. However, the old man seemed to be deliberately not killing him. When he saw Dan Yunzi coming, he used his teleportation skill to dodge. However, in the next moment, dozens of disciples would be killed. Just like this, Dan Yunzi was chased and chased. In the end, Dan Yunzi collapsed. He just watched the disciples he had painstakingly cultivated being killed one by one in front of him. This feeling was simply heart-wrenching. You can't take it anymore? This is nothing. In any case, you are also a cultivator of the upper stage of the nascent soul realm. The old man didn't listen and continued to kill. At this time, Dan Yunzi didn't have the slightest resistance. He knelt on the ground as if he had lost his soul. He looked at all of this with a face full of tears. Looking at the disciples in front of him who were once happy and chatting with him, Dan Yunzi was on the verge of collapse. If he wasn't careful, he would fall into the invincible abyss and be smashed to pieces. No, don't kill me. I'm willing to join the Sun sect. I beg Senior, please don't kill us. At this time, when the old man was about to kill them, these disciples knelt on the ground in fear. They kowtowed while begging. The old man had already picked up the butcher's knife and looked at them. At least you know what's good for you. However, I hope you remember that now that you have joined the Sun sect, you must show some sincerity. When the disciples who were kneeling on the ground saw that they could be saved, they quickly nodded and said, Yes, Senior. Please say it. What do you want us to do? We will definitely do it even if we have to die 1,000 times. Good. In that case, go and kill them. As long as you kill them, you will truly become a disciple of the Sun Sect. As soon as the old man said this, the disciples who were begging for mercy were stunned on the spot. Their faces stiffened and no longer had the same look as before. What's wrong? You're already stumped by such a small matter? If that's the case, how are you qualified to become a disciple of the Sun Sect? After saying that, the old man's face became angry. The sword in his hand pierced towards the disciples who were kneeling on the ground and begging for mercy. In the blink of an eye, just as the old man's sword was about to pierce through them, the disciples stood up and walked towards the designated person with the sword in their hand. Step by step, they arrived in front of their fellow disciples. The disciple who was holding the long sword had a look of struggle on his face. However, these fellow disciples were not as important as his own life. Several of them simultaneously raised the long sword in their hands and stabbed towards the disciple's chest. The sword pierced through the disciple's chest without the slightest pause. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Junior. I didn't do it on purpose. I still have my mother, my wife, and my children. Therefore, I can't die here. Seeing this scene, the old man felt incomparably carefree. He looked at Dan Yunzi, who was kneeling on the ground with tears streaming down his face. At this moment, his heart was filled with regret. He regretted that he didn't control this disciple when he accepted him as a disciple. How could there be such a traitor in the sect? When the remaining disciples of the Danzong sect saw this scene, some of the originally strong-willed disciples also began to beg for mercy. In the end, out of the 700 disciples who survived, more than 400 betrayed the sect. The remaining ones were some elders and chief disciples of the sect master. Seeing this scene, Dan Yunzi's heart was like dead ashes. He no longer had any thoughts of surviving. How is it, Dan Yunzi? What do you want to say now? Do you feel that your entire life is a failure? You even betrayed the disciple you nurtured with all your heart. Do you feel regret in your heart? Sect master, we were all personally cultivated by you. Without the sect, we wouldn't be where we are now. We're suited to live and die with the sect. When the few remaining disciples saw Dan Yunzi's appearance, they quickly gathered around him. They looked at Dan Yunzi with eyes full of determination. All right. In that case, all of you can die. From today onwards, there will no longer be a Danzong sect in the Xian-Tian continent. As he spoke, he waved his hand, and the disciples of the Sun sect behind him charged forward. However, miracles often happen. Right at this moment, a lazy voice was heard. The laziness was filled with domineering dominance, and there was no room for doubt in his tone. Who said that there will no longer be a Danzong sect in the Xian-Tian continent from now on? How dare you touch my people so easily? How dare you? Back then, I remember that I even broke the eggs of the Sun sect master's son. I wonder if he's recovered now. This sentence made Dan Yunzi, who originally had no will to live, pull himself together again. His eyes were filled with joy as he looked at the direction of the voice. Young master, I've finally waited for you. Chapter 107. Who are you? How dare you speak so arrogantly in front of me? Upon hearing Linley's voice, Watchman, who had been prepared to kill Linley, turned his head to look in Linley's direction. His eyes were filled with anger as he asked Linley. A person who is about to die dares to speak to me like this? Has this world gone mad? Linley's serious words sounded like mockery in the hearts of others. When the old man heard this, he was instantly enraged. He raised the sword in his hand and pointed it at Linley. Brat, I don't know why they call you young master, but since you have a relationship with the Danzong sect, you are destined to die here today. At this time, Lin Rei acted as if he didn't hear the old man's words. He turned his head and looked at the traitors. His eyes were filled with cold killing intent. It turned out that when the old man was about to kill, Lin Rei had already arrived and called the Black Dragon over. As for the little golden dragon, Lin Rei had already taken it into the cloud pagoda. You all have already made your choice. I can't blame you, but since you chose to oppose me, Lin Rei, then don't blame me. Looking at these traitors, Lin Rei wanted nothing more than to kill them. However, after thinking about the nascent soul cultivators and the old man, Lin Rei restrained himself. Who are you? How dare you talk to us like this? Aren't you just an intermediate golden core cultivator? Do you think you are at the nascent soul stage or higher? Do you think you can still leave today? With the Sun Sect's ancestor here, you. With a thud sound, the man who had cursed at Linley collapsed to the ground, his hands clutching his neck. Blood was pouring out from his neck. Seeing this, everyone present was stunned. Lin Rei coldly snorted. He didn't even look at the corpse on the ground. His cold eyes swept across the crowd, causing them to shiver. Impudent. You actually dare to kill the disciples who came to seek refuge with us in front of me. I see that you truly do not wish to live anymore. At this time, a mid-nascent soul stage old man saw that the disciple who just came to join them was killed. In order to play a good role, he rushed towards Lin Rei with a cold light in his hand. There are quite a lot of people who aren't afraid of death. Since that's the case, I won't refuse anyone. Black Dragon, I'll leave it to you. The moment Lin Rei finished speaking, he went to the place where Dan Yunzi was. He squatted down and treated Dan Yunzi's injuries. As for Black Dragon, after hearing Lin Rei's command, his body turned into a ray of black light and rushed towards the old man who rushed over. Pung! With one move, the old man who had rushed over disappeared without a trace. What was left was a pool of blood and some minced meat. You actually, when Sun Zong saw the development of the situation, the smile on everyone's face instantly disappeared without a trace. At this moment, whether it was Sun Zong or the disciples who betrayed the Danzong sect, they all looked at the black-clothed man standing on the pool of blood with a frightened expression on their faces. A stifling feeling rose from their bodies. As for old ancestor Sun Zong, who was standing in the air and observing everything, his face turned serious. He sighed in his heart, looks like we're in trouble this time. I didn't think that the Danzong sect would have such a strong background. They were actually able to invite a cultivator of this level. Even I can't guarantee my own death against a mid-nascent soul stage cultivator, let alone this kind of minced meat. At this moment, he felt regret in his heart. He regretted following the words of the current sect leader and attacking the Danzong sect. Senior, I'm really sorry. I didn't know that the Danzong sect was under Senior's care. I'll pay for all the losses, as long as Senior doesn't kill me. At this moment, the people in the air were terrified. They looked at Hei Long and hurriedly went to him and begged for his forgiveness. When they saw this scene, they were scared silly. This was especially true for old ancestor Sun Zong and the disciples who betrayed the Danzong sect. At this moment, they even had thoughts of suicide. Hei Long didn't even look at them. Instead, he turned his gaze to Lin Rei, who was currently fighting with Dan Yunzi. I can't make the decision on this matter. If there's anything you need, go find him. If he says he'll let you go, then I won't say anything, but I won't let you go. Hei Long, this matter is not negotiable. I said that since you've made a choice, then you must pay for your choice. Oh, right, there's one more thing. Those who offend my sect will be killed without mercy. Originally, when the old man heard Hei Long's words, a trace of hope appeared in his heart. However, when the old man was about to go find Lin Rei to plead for mercy, Lin Rei's voice was heard. His voice was filled with killing intent. It was obvious that this matter was unavoidable. I understand. Hei Long nodded in agreement after hearing Lin Rei's words. The old man standing in front of Hei Long was shocked. There was a trace of panic in his shock. The betrayers and old ancestor Sun Zong were even more terrified. This was especially true for old ancestor Sun Zong. Previously, he had said that he would destroy the Danzong sect. Now, he had brought irreparable destruction to his own sect. No, 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 let's talk about it. I'll give you whatever you want. As long as you let me go, I'll give you whatever I have. At this moment, when Hei Long made his move, the old man completely panicked. He originally thought that he could break through to the final level, but he did not expect that he would fall here today. His eyes were filled with unwillingness, but what was the use? Poof! A sword appeared in Hei Long's hand out of nowhere. The sword was inlaid with black scales. At the same time, it faintly emitted a black light. It was very strange. Hei Long quickly and straightforwardly arrived in front of the old man and killed him instantly. At this moment, Lin Rei was observing the situation. He bought Hei Long to kill the old man. After observing, Lin Rei discovered that the old man's blood had been absorbed by Hei Long's sword. Now, only a withered skin was left. Hiss! Lin Rei's mouth went cold. His eyes were filled with shock. He had never seen a weapon like this, let alone a weapon that could absorb the blood of its victim. This matter really broke the knowledge that Lin Rei had learned when he came to the profound sky continent. This won't do. When I have time, I must ask Hei Long the trick to that face of his. Looking at the black sword, Lin Rei's eyes were filled with reluctance. Ding dong, congratulations host. Your subordinate has killed an upper body integration stage cultivator. However, the reward can only be ordinary because you didn't personally kill him. The reward is 20 million spirit herbs, 2 fragments of the invincible divine spear, gather 10 fragments to upgrade it once, and 1 9 heavens mysterious art. The 9 heavens mysterious art is a supreme mantra in the God realm. Of course, it has never appeared in the God realm. It can be said to be an unopened mantra. This mantra can only be cultivated by people with outstanding talent. Otherwise, it will bring irreparable harm to the cultivator. Originally, Lin Rei was admiring the weapon in Hei Long's hand when the system notification rang out. When he heard the generous rewards, Lin Rei's eyes lit up. But it was quickly concealed by Lin Rei. No one noticed it. I didn't think that I would be able to get a reward from those people who ate pills and killed people. Although it's only a portion, not bad, not bad. It seems I'll have to cultivate more people like this in the future. Young master, thank you for saving my life. If it wasn't for you, this subordinate would have already died. Lin Rei, who was happy about the reward, came back to his senses when he heard Dan Yunzi's voice. Not bad. You were willing to sacrifice your life to protect the sect. This is what I admire the most about you. I heard everything you said just now, so you're not bad. Ah. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Dan Yunzi looked at Lin Rei with a confused expression. He wanted to ask what he meant by, I heard everything you said. Ah, perhaps you don't understand what I'm saying. When you first started fighting, I was already here. What? Young master, you're saying you were already here when we first started fighting? Then why? Alas, it's not that I didn't want to help, but since I came to the sect, I noticed that there are a lot of black sheep in the sect. I don't want such a sect. Moreover, this time I came back to establish a sect. If such people enter my sect, it will only corrupt it. So I want to use this incident to sift out those black sheep, and the remaining elites will be selected by my sect. My selection criteria is that I don't care how good your aptitude is, I only want people who are loyal to the sect. So this is a trial that I set. Only those who pass the trial will be qualified to enter the sect that I'm about to establish. In my sect, I will use resources that they can't imagine to cultivate them, so, after hearing Lin Rei's words, everyone present was shocked. They didn't expect that this teenager in front of them would have such wisdom. What was even more unexpected was that Lin Rei had the idea of establishing a sect. Yes, young master, I'm willing to disband the Danzong sect and join the sect that young master is about to establish. After hearing Dan Yunzi's words, all the elders who were still alive expressed their stance one by one. As for the disciples who were still alive, they looked at this scene with a dumbfounded expression. The man's mind was blank, and he seemed to have short-circuited. Well, since you have such a heart, then move as much as you can. This is the second trial that I'll give you. Get up, get up. Those traitors and invaders, as long as you kill them all, one of you will be able to enter my sect. Lin Rei's words aroused the hot-blooded anger in the hearts of the remaining people of the Danzong sect. At this time, they were full of enthusiasm, and everyone seemed to be full of energy. They raised their weapons and rushed towards the remaining disciples, elders, and traitors who were killed by Hei Long. A bloody massacre began. This incident caused a sensation in the entire western region, and it left a deep impact on people millions of years later. From then on, Lin Rei's name began to spread throughout the entire profound sky. However, his reputation wasn't that good. Some people named Lin Rei as Hell Azura, and some even called Lin Rei a demon. However, these were all stories for later. At this moment, the entire front of the Danzong sect was filled with killing, weapons clashing, cries, and begging for mercy. If a name had to be given, it would be the Western Symphony of Death, and Lin Rei was the composer of this Symphony of Death. There weren't many sects in the western region to begin with. Moreover, the Danzong sect and the Sun sect were the two giants in the western region. The battle between the two sects quickly attracted the scattered small sects in the western region. They came to pick up the scraps, and some even came specifically to watch the show. However, when they arrived, they all regretted it. What they saw was a line of inhumane killing. It was a hell on earth that they had never seen before. With the help of the nascent soul, Supreme Elder, and Hei Long, as well as the remaining few hundred disciples of the Danzong sect, the battle ended very quickly. Looking at the blood-soaked ground and the broken limbs on the ground made everyone vomit. The disciples who finished the battle didn't feel it during the battle, but after the battle ended, all of them held their stomachs and vomited at the same time. Even the higher-ups of the Danzong sect were the same, except for Hei Long and Lin Rei, who were still standing upright. Sigh, Lin Rei, I don't know if it's right for me to help you like this. This is much more than the number of people I've killed before. Aren't you afraid that you'll be punished by the thunder tribulation when you go through the tribulation in the future? Lin Rei stood in place and watched everything that just happened indifferently. There was no emotion in his eyes. At this moment, Hei Long came over and looked at Lin Rei's appearance. He couldn't help but persuade him. Hee, thunder tribulation. Not to mention thunder tribulation, even if it's thunder tribulation, what's there to be afraid of? Cultivators have always been going against the heavens. Blindly enduring or restraining oneself is not the Tao I want. I didn't expect you to be so involved. No wonder you can be so carefree. After hearing Lin Rei's words, Hei Long couldn't help but be angry. Oh, right. Since you're a dragon, what do you think of the golden dragon? Hei Long originally wanted to leave, but after hearing Lin Rei's question, he turned around and looked at Lin Rei with eyes full of questions. That's it. After saying that, Lin Rei directly summoned the golden dragon. However, this time, the golden dragon was only a foot-long little golden snake. However, this scene caused Hei Long to be filled with shock. His eyes were wide open and filled with fear. You, how do you have this? Seeing Hei Long's stuttering voice, Lin Rei smiled. He had never seen Hei Long act like this. I subdued this inside the cloud pagoda. Just like you, it will leave once the time is up. However, I believe that at that time, even if I chase you away, you won't leave because you can't break through the seal outside the profound sky continent and go to the immortal world. Chapter 108. Hee, Lin Rei, oh Lin Rei, I really can't see what kind of secrets you're hiding. Whether it's the person who controlled me, the pills that controlled these people, or the golden dragon that appeared in front of me now, there aren't many people in the Tianxian continent that I admire. But you're one of them. You're too serious. I'm just a lucky person. There's nothing special about me. Hearing the black dragon's words, Lin Rei's face revealed a trace of pride. However, Lin Rei hid it very well. No one present noticed Lin Rei's abnormality. Alright, Black Dragon. Now that the disciples of the Sun Sect who attacked the Danzong Sect have been killed, there's no need for the Sun Sect to remain. I'll have to trouble you to lead them to completely destroy the Sun Sect. Then, bring back all the treasures of the Sun Sect. A sentence full of murderous ambition came out of Lin Rei's mouth so easily. If it weren't for Lin Rei's age, people would definitely think that there was a cold-blooded devil living in Lin Rei's body. Good, good, good. I admire your decisiveness. I'm now looking forward to how far you can grow in the future. After saying that, the Black Dragon directly went in the direction of the Sun Sect. Behind him, Bai Yu and the other elders also chased after him. Dan Yunzi, go and count how many disciples are left in the Danzong Sect. Also, immediately clear up the unstable factors. I don't want to see such things happen again in the future. After saying that, Lin Rei rode on the flying sword and rushed to his small courtyard. He was so fast that he was like a stream of light that streaked across the sky and flew into the distance. After hearing Lin Rei's order, Dan Yunzi checked one by one. After a while, Dan Yunzi filtered out more than 30 people from the 200 people. Seeing this scene, Dan Yunzi was very surprised. If it weren't for Lin Rei's reminder, these people would have successfully infiltrated the reorganized Danzong Sect. That would have been a great sin. Leaving the 30 people with ulterior motives behind, Dan Yunzi arranged for the others to clean up the scene. Although many people died, they were still cleaned up by the 100 disciples. The remaining 30 people were also dealt with by Dan Yunzi. After doing all this, Dan Yunzi tidied up his luggage and headed to the inner part of the Danzong Sect. As for the Black Dragon who was heading to the Sun Sect, he sped up. After arriving at the entrance of the Sun Sect, he began to kill. As long as it was someone he saw in the Sun Sect, he would not leave them alive. As for the elders who came later, they only plundered the treasures of the Sun Sect. The speed was very fast. Originally, the Sun Sect had already sent out all the elites this time. Those who stayed in the Sun Sect were either powerless or their relatives who were killed in the Danzong Sect. After a while, the Black Dragon released his body and waited until there was not a single Sun Sect disciple in the Sun Sect before he stopped the killing. Say, Senior, our cultivation is still shallow. We are still unable to detect the location of the treasures in the Sun Sect. We hope that Senior can help us. At this moment, Bai Yu walked up and bowed to the Black Dragon respectfully. There was not a trace of disrespect in his tone. Even his voice was not as loud as before. All right. Looking at Bai Yu's attitude, the Black Dragon did not refuse. Lin Rei had already told him before he came here. After saying that, the Black Dragon released his consciousness. In an instant, the Black Dragon's consciousness enveloped the entire Sun Sect. Wherever the Black Dragon's consciousness went, not a single bit of privacy would appear in the Black Dragon's mind. After a while, the Black Dragon's eyes narrowed and he lifted his feet, intending to go deeper into the Sun Sect. After a while, the Black Dragon arrived at the main hall of the Sun Sect. Wow, this Sun Sect is indeed imposing. Just this main hall alone is not only built with a precious refining material, but there's also a level 4 spirit gathering formation here. How extravagant. It's much more imposing than your Danzong Sect. After arriving at the main hall and seeing everything in the hall, the Black Dragon turned his head and said to Bai Yu who was following behind him. Yeah. After all, the Danzong Sect is not good at martial arts. Usually, we can only use medicinal pills to exchange. After hearing the Black Dragon's words, Bai Yu could not help but reveal an awkward expression. Alright, I'll stop fooling around with you. The thing you want is under that seat. As for how you want to get it, that's your problem. What about me? I'll take my leave first. Go back and tell Lin Rei that if he wants to find me, he can find me at Royal Pill City's Baiyun Pavilion. I'm a frequent visitor there. After saying that, the black dragon's figure faded out of everyone's sight. After hearing the black dragon's words, all the elders, including Baiyu, revealed a helpless expression. They could not understand why the black dragon liked to go to that place so much. Alright, if everyone wants to see it, let's hurry up and get the thing and report back to the young master. After saying that, Baiyu took the lead and came to the side of the only seat in the main hall. He activated his cultivation technique and attacked the seat with all his might. Pung! The seat did not change at all. Instead, white feather was bounced off the seat. Seeing this scene, Heavy Duty was shocked. What's going on? We know the strength of Grand Elder Baiyu. Moreover, the Grand Elder clearly used his full strength. Even a severed soul stage cultivator would not dare to take it head-on. I didn't expect, forget it. Don't say any more. I don't believe it. If we gather all our strength and attack with all our might, I don't believe that the seat won't be damaged. When the first elder saw that everyone was hesitating, he hurriedly gathered everyone together and threw them towards the seats together. Bang! After a loud sound, everyone looked at the seat that was being attacked with anticipation. Ha ha ha. I knew it. Isn't it just a seat? With everyone's combined strength, we can't break it. Seeing that the entrance was opened, everyone couldn't wait to rush in. Along the way, there were all kinds of traps and poisons. There were only things that one could not imagine and nothing that one could not see. Finally, everyone arrived at the treasure pavilion where the treasures were stored. My God. Is this still a first-rate sect? I think this is comparable to the first-rate sects in the central continent. When the elders arrived at the treasure pavilion, they saw the scene before them. Not only were everyone stunned, they all stared at the things in front of them that they had never seen before. They even doubted why Sun Zong did not dare to discover such a worldly treasure. Cough. Cough, cough. Everyone, quickly keep it. Don't let the young master wait too long. After all, Baiyu had seen the world, so he woke up after a short while. He walked over to the treasures and collected them while speaking to the elders who were in a daze. When he spoke, there was a trace of spiritual energy in his voice, as if he was afraid that the elders who were immersed in their fantasies couldn't hear him. Ha. Okay. Everyone woke up and no longer had any greed in their eyes. They used their storage rings to keep the treasures in front of them. At this moment, they were very happy. They were happy that today was a blessing in disguise. They thought that they were going to be killed, but now, not only did they destroy someone else's sect, they even came to the treasure pavilion of someone else's treasure pavilion to collect their treasures. Everyone moved very quickly. They cleaned out every corner of the treasure pavilion, leaving nothing behind. After they were done, they left the searching sect and flew towards the alchemy sect. At this moment, Lin Rei was suffering. He thought that he could rest when he returned to his courtyard. However, he did not expect Wan Yu to come here early after knowing that Lin Rei had returned. She was waiting for Lin Rei to take the bait. Little Wan Yu, let me go. I won't dare to do it again. Didn't I bring you a junior brother when I came back? I've already thought about it. I'll let your junior brother practice with you in the future. Look, I've just come back and I'm tired. Let me rest for a while. When I'm done resting, I'll come and talk to you. What do you think? At this moment, Lin Rei was very sad. On the way back to the courtyard, he had already decided that he would sleep as soon as he returned. He did not expect to meet Wan Yu. What was even more depressing was that Wan Yu was angry because Lin Rei had not returned for such a long time. She was bored to death and blocked the door, not allowing him to enter. Master, where have you been these days? Uncle Xiao Tian came back and told me that you were missing. Do you know how sad and scared I was? I came back here every day to wait for you to come back. But you didn't come to see me when you came back. The first thing you did when you came back was sleep. Woo. Looking at Wan Yu's appearance, Lin Rei wanted to die. However, in order to get rid of Wan Yu's entanglement as soon as possible, the only thing Lin Rei could do was to compromise and satisfy all of Wan Yu's desires. Okay, don't cry. Tell me. Master can satisfy whatever you want. How about when Master establishes a sect, I'll confer you the title of Saintess. Seeing Lin Rei's appearance, Estranged, who had followed Lin Rei back, felt very absent-minded. At this time, Lin Rei did not look like the murderous master from before. Instead, he looked like a father who was coaxing his child. His tone was gentle, and his eyes were full of doting. This is what you said. You can't go back on your words. If you do, I'll tell others. I'll say that my master Lin Rei is a bad guy who doesn't keep his promises. Seeing Wan Yu finally speak, Lin Rei knew that things would be much easier. His face was full of smiles as he looked at Wan Yu. Okay, now that Master has promised you, let Master go in first. Master hasn't been paying attention these days. Look at Master's dark circles. Although Estranged knew that Lin Rei was joking, when she saw Lin Rei pointing at her eyes, she felt that Lin Rei was really naughty and adorable. Oh, by the way, tell Tianyun and Ming to wait for me. Also, tell them to bring the children to me. As for your junior brother, Master will leave him to you. Do whatever you want. Just remember, don't kill him. Having said that, Lin Rei did not wait for Wan Yu's response. He immediately activated the system's teleportation skill and disappeared before Wan Yu's eyes. When he reappeared, he was already in front of his room. Ah! Master, you tricked me again. Looking at this scene, Wan Yu knew that she had been deceived by Master. She wanted to go in and clarify things with Lin Rei, but was stopped by Estranged. Senior sister, don't disturb Master. These days, Master has been really tired in order to rush back. It's not good for you to be so unreasonable. With just one sentence, Wan Yu, who wanted to go in and find her master, was pulled back. She turned her head and looked at the junior brother that her master had just brought back. A bright light flashed in her eyes. She took a big stride forward, grabbed his estranged hand, and madly ran into the distance. At this time, Lin Rei, who had just entered the room, was afraid that Wan Yu would come in and cause trouble for him. Therefore, he had been using his divine sense to observe Wan Yu's every move. However, he did not expect that Estranged, who had been silent all this time, would speak up to defend Lin Rei and scold Wan Yu. Seeing this scene, Lin Rei, who was lying on the bed, mourned for Estranged for 3 full seconds. Then, he withdrew his divine sense and closed his eyes, falling asleep. The elders who went to look for the sect had all returned to the sect. However, after knowing that Lin Rei had fallen asleep, they did not rashly come to disturb him. Instead, they handed over their storage rings to Bai Yu and returned to their respective rooms. As for Wan Yu, according to Lin Rei's instructions, she pulled Estranged to the place where Ming and Tianyun were training. Young miss, Estranged has something to tell us. Ming and Tianyun, who were busy training their disciples, stopped what they were doing when they sensed Wan Yu's aura. They walked up to Wan Yu and asked respectfully. Don't call me that. Young miss, I'm not used to it. Just call me Yu, like Uncle Tian, or Wan Yu is fine too. Pa. After hearing Wan Yu's words, Ming and Tianyun immediately knelt on the ground and said to Wan Yu, rules cannot be broken. After all, you are Master's disciple. It is only right for us to call you young Mississippi. Wan Yu sighed when she saw Ming and Tianyun's reaction. She shook her head and did not care about it anymore. All right, all of you stand up. I am here on my master's orders. Take your disciples and wait in front of Master's door. When Master wakes up, he wants to see the results of your training. What? Master is back? When the two heard Wan Yu say that Lin Rei was back, they did not hide the excitement on their faces. Yes, yes. We will take our disciples to Master's residence in a moment. Young miss, we will take our leave first. After saying that, Ming and Tian Yun went to the place where the disciples were training. They led the 100 disciples to the door of Lin Rei's room and waited. The news of Sun Sect's annihilation and Dan Sect's destruction instantly spread throughout the entire Tianxian continent, regardless of whether it was the central continent or the northern continent. As Lin Li's name was spread by everyone, he instantly became a household name in the entire continent. There was no one who did not know that a 15-year-old child had actually given the order to annihilate tens of thousands of people. When everyone heard Lin Li's name, they had a premonition in their hearts that Lin Li's future achievements would not be underestimated. Chapter 109. The appearance of Lin Rei's name sent the entire Tianxian continent into an uproar. The originally peaceful situation was thus broken. Everyone was speculating about Lin Rei's background. Even the sects and empires of the central continent sent people to inquire about Lin Rei. After returning to the Danzong sect, Lin Rei returned to his room and slept for 3 days. Time passed quietly just like that. The people who inquired about Lin Rei's background investigated for a long time but found nothing. No one knew where Lin Rei came from. From then on, all the sects and empires paid close attention to Lin Rei and the Danzong sect. 3 days later, Lin Rei finally woke up from his sleep. The first thing Lin Rei did when he opened his eyes was to change his clothes and stretch his body. Then, he opened the door and walked outside. We have brought 100 children brought back by the great elders of the Danzong sect. We are here to report the results of these disciples' cultivation to the young master. Greetings, young master. The moment the sleepy Lin Rei walked out, he heard the deafening voices. Instantly, Lin Rei woke up. Seeing the scene in front of him, Lin Rei smiled. Not bad. Everyone has reached the upper stage of foundation establishment. Not bad. I didn't expect you to work so hard these past few months. The moment he saw the 100 disciples, he released his divine sense to investigate the children's cultivation. After seeing this, Lin Rei revealed a manly expression. Yes, we have obeyed the young master's orders. We didn't dare to slack off for a moment and supervised the disciples' cultivation day and night. Most importantly, the Danzong sect master has sent us pills. These past few months, they have never stopped. I saw it. I saw the results of your cultivation over the past few months. I am very satisfied. As he spoke, Lin Rei walked in front of the 100 disciples. Looking at these future pillars of the Xuanzong sect, he felt extremely gratified. You may not have seen me before, but what I want to say is that you are all the future geniuses of the Xuanzong sect. As long as you work hard, I will choose 2 elders and a few enforcers from among you. As for those who are special, don't blame me for not reminding you. You are all the same and have the same status. No matter who you are, as long as you cultivate to the level I want in advance, you will be rewarded. These encouraging words came out of Lin Li's mouth. Everyone who heard Lin Li's words felt as though they had been detonated by an atomic bomb, causing a huge uproar. Young master, is what you said true? Can we, the disciples, have the chance to achieve the things and status you speak of? At this moment, a submissive voice rang out from the front. Hearing this voice, Lin Li's gaze turned to the front. A young man with delicate features and a skinny figure appeared in Lin Li's line of sight. He was a little short in stature. That's right. I admire your courage. What I said is true. As long as any of you can reach the level I want in advance, you can take the position of elder at any time. After receiving confirmation, all the children present jumped up in excitement. Seeing this scene, Lin Rei felt a sense of loss in his heart. Tianyun, Ming, you are very good. When I return, I will reward you. Take them away first. When I return, I will make further arrangements for your people. Yes, young master. After saying that, Tianyun saw that Lin Rei had already disappeared. Tianyun brought the 100 disciples back to their original cultivation area. After handing over the mission, Lin Rei rode on his flying sword and flew towards the Great Assembly Hall. Lin Rei arrived at the Great Assembly Hall very quickly. He raised his foot and walked in. Seeing the elders and Dan Yunzi who were already waiting for him, Lin Rei revealed an embarrassed expression. Cough, cough, cough. Cultivators have waited for a long time. Because I just returned, there was nothing I could do. It's fine, young master. We also just arrived. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Dan Yunzi hurriedly tried to smooth things over. All right. Now, tell me what good things you took back from the Sun Sect. After saying that, Lin Rei went to the sect master's seat and sat down. Young master, we really did have some gains this time. The main credit is because of that senior. If it wasn't for that senior, we really wouldn't have been able to obtain the Sun Sect's treasures so smoothly. Hearing Bai Yu's words, Lin Rei's eyes flashed. He began to plan in his heart, but on the surface, he looked at Bai Yu with a serious expression. Take out the things you plundered from the Sun Sect first. Take out all the ingredients for concocting pills and order people to concoct pills overnight. As for the rest, we will distribute them separately after I establish the Sun Sect. Hearing Lin Rei's words, everyone smiled happily. When they heard that he was going to take out all the simple ingredients they had obtained from the Sun Sect to concoct pills, the elders who lived by concocting pills were overjoyed. In the next 2 days, I want you to organize all the finances of the Danzong sect so that it will be convenient for us to go to the sect's new land of fortune. What? Young master, are you saying that you want to give up the Danzong sect's current sect and choose another place to be the new sect master? Upon hearing Lin Li's plan, everyone's faces changed, revealing troubled looks. Lin Li could tell that they had been free here for tens of millions of years. They had long since grown attached to every blade of grass and every tree here. That's right. We want to leave this place. Do you think that everything will be fine after we destroy the Sun Sect? You should know that the Sun Sect is just a sect without any challenge. Moreover, the other sects are now interested in annexing our sect that doesn't have many elites. If we don't leave now, do you want to be annexed by others or be destroyed by others? Hearing Lin Rei's words, everyone seemed to have been enlightened. At this moment, their hearts were cold, and the cold sweat on their backs had already soaked their clothes. Sigh, young master is still thinking far ahead. With the current strength of the sect's disciples, even a third-rate sect can easily destroy us. If it wasn't for that senior who offended us and helped us, perhaps we would have been dead by now. Dan Yunzi said the truth in his heart. All the elders nodded in unison with a look of shame on their faces. All right, as for the new land of fortune of the sect, let's build it in the Ling Tian Forbidden Zone. The spiritual qi there is abundant, and there are many demonic beasts living around it. It will be convenient for the disciples to cultivate. Lin Rei's words shocked everyone present. They never thought that Lin Rei would be in a place as dangerous as the Ling Tian Forbidden Zone. Although the spiritual qi there was dense, it was undeniable that if there was no murderer there, it might really be a good place to build a sect. All right, this matter is settled. When the time comes, you won't question my choice. Also, send someone to find He Long, tell him that there is a new task for him. After speaking, Lin Rei didn't give anyone a chance to speak. Instead, he walked out of the hall alone. The elders and Dan Yunzi in the hall originally had some doubts, but in the end, they chose to believe in Lin Rei. As for Bai Yu, she went ahead to the Royal Pill City to find He Long. It's time to establish the sect. I just don't know how much experience points I can get from establishing the sect now. While thinking about flying to Wan Yu's palace, he also thought about how much experience points he could get from completing the task. With his current experience points, 600 million was only enough to raise his strength. Hee, you haven't even established the sect yet, and you're already thinking about getting the experience points from completing the task. You're always like this, thinking about unrealistic things every day. While Lin Rei was fantasizing about the experience points, a basin of cold water directly washed away the experience points. Motherf asterisk Ker, little dragon, are you crazy? I've already told you to go to the toilet, don't wake me up at this time. You're always like this, do you think it's good? After regaining his senses, Lin Rei looked at the little dragon in front of him. He pointed at the little dragon's nose and scolded it. Humph, you're still talking about it. I'm here to remind you that establishing a sect isn't something you can just do as you wish. First of all, establishing a sect requires people. The total number of people in your sect doesn't exceed 500. You want to get experience points with this number? Tell me, isn't this just a pipe dream? Lin Rei, who was still angry, suddenly woke up after hearing the little dragon's analysis. Also, establishing a sect requires a great sect protection formation. Although the Danzong sect's Great Sect Protection Formation is the trashiest formation, didn't it still last for 2 days? Therefore, a Great Sect Protection Formation is indispensable. Also, with your and those people's current strength, it's impossible to take back the Cloud Pagoda. Then, my suggestion is to find the Black Dragon and let him be the Xuanzong sect's divine guardian beast. At the same time, you can also let the little golden dragon in the Cloud Pagoda quickly increase its strength and strive to reach the combination realm within a year. Only then can it have a place in the Tianxian continent. After hearing the little dragon's thoughts and suggestions, Lin Rei couldn't help but admit that he was really too meticulous. He was much more meticulous than he thought. Alright, I remember that there are Great Sect Protection Formations in the Exchange Center, right? Yes, there are. But with your current exchange points, you can at most exchange for one that's slightly better than the Danzong sect's Great Sect Protection Formation. Yes, I understand. After saying this, Lin Rei went to Wan Yu's residence. As soon as he arrived, he heard Wan Yu's voice begging for mercy. Junior brother, let me go. I won't dare to do it again. If Master finds out that you bullied me, Master will definitely punish you. Hearing this, Lin Rei quickly walked in. As soon as he opened the door, he saw that Alienation had already used a spell to freeze Alienation. Alright, stop messing around. Hurry up and pack up. We're going to leave the sect and go to another place. Once we're there, Master will definitely make a training plan for you so that you can quickly increase your strength. That way, you won't lose Master's face. After speaking, Linley began to walk outside. Alienation followed him out. As for Wan Yu, she was still frozen there by Alienation, not moving at all. Let's go. Come back with Master. After saying this, Lin Rei brought Alienation to his courtyard. He turned his head and said to Alienation. Alienation, Master still has things to do. Find a place to stay first. Once we're in the new sect, Master will explain to you what you don't understand. Yes, Master. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Alienation obediently went to the room next door, while Lin Rei returned to his own room. Time passed quickly. During these 2 days, it was very lively inside the Danzong sect. Everyone knew that they were going to the new sect, so they all moved and helped to move things. Dian Wei and Bai Qi, who had gone out to gain experience, came back. They heard that the Danzong sect was besieged, so they hurried back to help. However, when they came back, they learned that the Sun sect had been destroyed a few days ago. What's more, Dian Wei and Bai Qi came back with hundreds of disciples. These were all orphans that they had chosen when they were on the Tianxian continent. They were all chosen according to the method that Lin Rei taught them. All of them had good spiritual roots, and there were even dozens of children with best spiritual roots. Seeing this, Lin Rei was very happy. What made Lin Rei most happy was Dian Wei and Bai Qi. After experiencing the edge of life and death for several months, their cultivation had improved greatly. Originally, they were in the Foundation Establishment realm, but now, they had reached the Upper Gold Core realm. Today was the day they left the Danzong sect. On this day, everyone came to the gate of the Danzong sect early. Everyone was in a heavy mood, especially Dan Yunzi, the elders, and the original disciples of the Danzong sect. In their hearts, this place had long become their home. They were really reluctant to leave. Well, Black Dragon, after we leave, destroy all the buildings and halls here. Don't leave anything behind. When you're done, go to the Lingtian forbidden area and find us. When you arrive at the entrance of Lingtian, I'll ask someone to lead the way for you. Okay, I got it. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Black Dragon agreed without hesitation. Then, Lin Rei led everyone to fly towards the Lingtian forbidden area. Everyone carried a few people on their swords. Their speed was very fast. At this time, the sky hadn't really brightened yet, so not many people noticed them. As for Black Dragon, he followed Lin Rei's instructions and flew above the Danzong sect. He used all his strength to destroy all the buildings here. As for those who heard the commotion, they all came to see. Before the sky brightened, the entire Tianxian continent already knew about this scene. As the saying goes, good news never leaves the house, but bad news spreads for 1,000 miles. This sentence was not wrong. Everyone thought that the people of the Danzong sect had offended someone important and was exterminated. They didn't know that everyone in the Danzong sect had already arrived at the Lingtian forbidden area. Chapter 110. Young Master, I don't know where we should go now. The demonic beasts in the Lingtian forbidden zone are extremely powerful. Even I wouldn't dare to rashly go in. Moreover, there are so many of us this time. I'm afraid. When they arrived outside the Lingtian forbidden zone, Dan Yunzi asked Lin Rei worriedly. However, before Dan Yunzi could finish his sentence, he was interrupted by Lin Rei. Alright, since I've chosen to establish a sect in the Lingtian forbidden zone, I must have my reasons. As for the reason, I can't tell you all. However, don't worry, no one can do anything to you here. Moreover, I've already scouted this place. It's not far from where we'll be establishing our sect this time. There aren't any powerful demonic beasts along the way. Therefore, you all don't have to worry. After he finished speaking, Lin Rei turned his head and gave everyone a reassuring look. Then, without saying anything else, he directly looked for a direction and started walking in that direction. Everyone chose to believe in Lin Rei. On the way to the new location of the sect, no one spoke. It was very quiet. As for Hei Long, who had stayed behind to wreak havoc in the Danzong sect, he was very efficient. Not long after Lin Rei entered the Lingtian forbidden zone, he followed Lin Rei's scent and tracked him down. When everyone saw Hei Long, they all consciously opened up a path. Hei Long also went to Lin Rei's side without hesitation. I really don't understand you. Why can't you choose a good place to establish your sect? Everyone knows that the Lingtian forbidden zone is good. However, do you know why no one dares to set their sights on this place? That's because there's something here that they're afraid of. Even if I'm at the peak of the tribulation stage, I can't guarantee that I'll be able to kill that thing. Do you know? Lin Rei smiled and didn't say too much. The moment the Black Dragon returned, he tried his best to persuade Lin Rei. However, Lin Rei acted as though he didn't hear him and continued to smile all the way to the valley. This valley was something that Lin Rei inadvertently saw when he came back from the Cloud Pagoda. After that, he decided to leave. This valley was surrounded by mountains on all sides. First, he had to use his flying sword to enter. Second, Lin Rei took a fancy to the rich spiritual qi here. Third, there were a lot of bodyguards here. Moreover, he could go out and gain experience. Most importantly, Lin Rei had the Cloud Pagoda. After hearing Dan Yunzi's report, Lin Rei decided to establish the Nine Heavens Xuanzong sect here. I didn't expect you to be so good at finding places. You actually managed to find such a secluded place. When everyone saw where they would be living in the future, their eyes lit up, revealing looks of yearning. This was especially true for Black Dragon, who was even more shocked. There were mountains and rivers here, and the spiritual energy was extremely dense. Most importantly, there seemed to be a natural formation here that had a concealing effect. What do you think? I came here for the good geographical environment, for the right time, place, and people. I can feel that there are so many natural treasures here that I can't count them all. More importantly, if the disciples want to go out and gain experience, they can do it at the door. This way, the number of deaths and injuries can be reduced. After hearing Lin Rei's idea, everyone gave him a thumbs up. They nodded and praised Lin Rei. All right, hurry up and refine some palaces. Once the sect is established, we'll officially let the disciples live there. The palaces must be big. We don't lack materials. As for the disciples, I think that's enough. I only want elite cultivators. I don't want those useless people. Quality is more important than quantity. So go and get busy. As for those disciples who have nothing to do, all of you can sit on the ground and rest. Yes, we will listen to young master's instructions. After hearing Lin Rei's instructions, everyone began to get busy. Those who received the mission all went to get busy. As for those who didn't receive the mission and had low cultivation, they all sat down according to Lin Rei's instructions. Hee, Black Dragon, you see, your cultivation is the highest here. Shouldn't you also contribute to the matter of refining the palaces? You still have a long way to go. You don't want to live in a bad place in the future, right? Listening to Lin Rei's shameless words, Black Dragon wanted to die. He never thought that Lin Rei could be so shameless. Humph, you brat. Sigh, forget it. What you said is not without reason. After saying that, Black Dragon went to White Feather's place and started refining the palaces. Needless to say, with Black Dragon's help, the process of refining the palaces really sped up a lot. Seeing this scene, Lin Rei smiled, revealing a smile of someone who had succeeded in his scheme. Everyone went to do their own things. Lin Rei went to the system space and used his exchange points to exchange for the Sect's protection array. Xiaolong, hurry up and come out. Help me take a look and see which of these arrays is better. After entering the system space, Lin Rei opened the exchange store. Looking at the many arrays in front of him, he didn't know which one to choose for a while, so he asked the system spirit. Oh, it's not easy. If I remember correctly, this is the first time you've spoken to me like this. Just as Lin Rei finished speaking, a figure appeared in front of Lin Rei out of thin air. His eyes were full of self-abuse as he spoke to Lin Rei. Alright, don't put on airs. Hurry up and help me take a look. I want a powerful array that can be taken away at any time. Hurry up and help me see if there are any. Let me tell you, I only have 150,000 exchange points. You have to look carefully. At this moment, hearing Lin Rei's words, the little dragon didn't refute him. Instead, he turned around and seriously helped Lin Rei choose. Not long after, he picked out 3 arrays that met Lin Rei's requirements from the exchange store. Your requirements are a little strange, but fortunately, the system is invincible. I really found the trashiest ones. Lin Rei knew that the little dragon was using this opportunity to despise him, but for the sake of the array, Lin Rei had to hold back. He smiled and asked the little dragon. Good little dragon, you're the best. Since you know, then hurry up and tell me. Hearing Lin Rei's words, the little dragon's body trembled inadvertently, and he said unhappily, Oh, damn, don't talk like that. I can't stand it. Alright, these 3 spirit designs all have their own effects. Let's take this Azura Raging Flames design for example. It belongs to a killing array. As long as the array is activated, it won't be a problem to kill a mid-Maching Realm cultivator. Even a peak-Maching Realm cultivator can be trapped. Oh, is it that powerful? After hearing the little dragon talk about the first array, Lin Rei's face was filled with excitement, but when he thought about the other 2, Lin Rei couldn't help but be curious. The second one is the Water Ridge Universe array. This array is even more amazing. Although it's not a killing array, its attack power is still very strong. It belongs to the defensive type of array, and it's famous for its resistance to attack. Even a loose immortal can't break through it. As for its attack power, at most, its attack power is only at the peak of the crossing tribulation realm. Damn, this is the trashiest array. If it's a little better, how powerful will its attack be? Lin Ray was extremely shocked. He didn't think that the trashiest array in the system would have such an effect. The third one is more powerful than the first two. It's the cage array. The greatest effect of this array is its defense. Its defense can be said to be stronger than any array in the Tianxian continent. Not only its defense, but also its attack power. However, the biggest drawback of this array is that it's too powerful. I'm afraid that you won't be able to control it with your current strength, so. Hearing the three arrays introduced by the little dragon, Lin Ray's heart fluctuated greatly. Each array was very powerful, and Lin Ray wanted each array. However, Lin Ray knew that it was impossible, so at this time, he was extremely proud in his heart. Xiaolong, what kind of array formation do you think I should choose? After listening to your introduction, the choice in my heart is always erratic. With that, Lin Ray shook his head hard, trying to clear his mind, and his voice was full of helplessness. Hee, I haven't said their prices yet. What are you worried about? Really? This sentence directly pulled Lin Ray back from his choice. For a moment, Lin Ray's anger surged as he said to the little dragon. You bastard, why didn't you say so earlier? You made me worry for half a day. Did you give me a chance to speak? Looking at Lin Ray's appearance, the little dragon felt a burst of joy in his heart. Especially when he saw Lin Ray's anger, the little dragon felt even happier. If it's up to me, you should choose the first two. As for the last one, when you have enough strength, I will remind you. The first two? Lin Ray answered with a face full of smiles. However, he didn't get the last one, so Lin Ray couldn't help but feel a little disappointed. Damn, you should be satisfied. If you throw any one of these two into the Tianxian continent, it's possible to destroy a sect in an instant. Do you know that? Alright, I got it. Since I've already gotten what I wanted, I'll take my leave first. Lin Ray got what he wanted, so he didn't have any intention to stay here. As for the little dragon's words, Lin Ray didn't listen. He said goodbye to the little dragon and then returned to reality. As for the two arrays, they had already appeared in the system's inventory. The exchange points had also decreased a lot because he bought the two arrays. Originally, he had 150,000. After buying the arrays, he only had 3,000 exchange points left. This made Lin Ray speechless. Opening his eyes, Lin Ray saw a brand new valley. Originally, there were only mountains and rivers in the valley. Now, there were many huge palaces. Seeing this scene, Lin Ray smiled. The people who were refining the palaces had also finished refining and sat in place to recover their spiritual energy. Phew, since it's done, let's start. Today, I must complete the creation of the sect. 10 billion experience points, wait for me. You'll be mine soon. After speaking, Linley drove directly to the center of the valley and took out the two formations he had purchased from the system. Spiritual energy continuously flowed into the two formations, causing them to grow larger and larger. In the end, they covered the entire valley. Linley then formed a seal with both hands and set up the two formations in the middle of the valley one after the other. Boom! After the formation went underground, the entire valley began to shake. The people who were originally cultivating or resting all stood up one after another after sensing the changes in the valley. Their eyes focused on their surroundings. Don't worry, young master is building an array for the valley. This array is really big and powerful. Even I may not be able to break through it. Right at this moment, the black dragon, who had been resting with his eyes closed, opened his eyes. After inspecting, he laughed and told everyone what had happened, telling them not to panic. At this moment, Linley had returned as well. Well, now the entire valley has been wrapped up by my array. Even a Mahayana realm expert can't take advantage of it. When they arrived at the gathering point, Linley explained the matter of setting up the formation to them. The look of confidence on his face as he spoke caused them to believe his words without a shred of doubt. "Young master, the palaces have been built. I don't know what we should do next. You've done a good job. You don't have to worry about the rest. Leave the rest to me." Hearing Dan Yunzi's words, Lin Ray directly interrupted him, then turned around and went to the deepest part of the valley. He stopped, looked around, and nodded with a smile. Here it is." After saying that, Lin Ray directly took out the cloud pagoda from the system. Then, he found the right direction and directly placed the cloud pagoda there. The moment the cloud pagoda landed, it began to expand until it was as tall as the valley. The cloud pagoda stopped. "What, young master really obtained the cloud pagoda?" When everyone saw the cloud pagoda, they were all shocked. Their voices were filled with disbelief. "Artifact spirit, can you erase the 3 words cloud pagoda and replace it with 9 heavens Xuanzong Sect?" Lin Ray didn't know the expressions of the people behind him. At this moment, Lin Ray only wanted to establish the sect, then complete the mission and obtain the mission reward. Yes, but this will cause you to suffer a backlash. I don't know if you're still willing." A loud voice rang out. Immediately, everyone present was shocked because treasures with artifact spirits were generally not ordinary. The lowest grade artifact spirit was an immortal artifact. "Alright, since you can change it, then hurry up. As for the backlash, it doesn't matter." As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Ray saw the 3 words on the cloud pagoda begin to blur. Replacing them were the words in Lin Ray's mind. Pft, pft, pft. As soon as the 4 words 9 heavens Xuanzong Sect appeared, Lin Ray's chest tightened and he coughed up a mouthful of blood. "Young master, what happened to you?" At this moment, Ice, who was standing behind him, saw Lin Ray coughing up blood. His body was on the verge of collapse and he immediately rushed forward to support Lin Ray. His eyes were filled with worry. "Cough, cough, cough, I'm fine. This is merely the backlash of the cloud pagoda. It will pass quickly." Looking at Ice, Lin Ray didn't tell the truth. Instead, he hid his true injuries. "Today, I, Lin Ray, will officially establish my sect in the profound sky continent. From today onwards, I will let the name 9 heavens Xuanzong Sect resound throughout Hongmeng. No one will be able to stop me. If anyone tries to stop me, then tell me, what should I do?" At this moment, Lin Ray stood in front of the cloud pagoda and swore to the heavens and earth. He swore to the people of the 9 heavens Xuanzong Sect. His hair fluttered without any wind. Adding the blood he spat out, his lips were stained with blood. He looked like a demon god, overflowing with domineering aura and extraordinary might. "Kill, kill, kill." After hearing Lin Ray's question, everyone couldn't help but shout in unison. Immediately, the entire valley was filled with an austere aura. Chapter 111. Rumble, Rumble. When Lin Ray made his vow to the heavens, thunder rumbled in the sky and dark clouds covered the sky. It was as if Lin Ray's vow had been approved by the heavens. What's going on? This phenomenon hasn't appeared in a long time. After so many years, why is it still happening? Could it be that this strange phenomenon attracted the attention of all the influential people in the Tianxian continent? When they saw the strange phenomenon, everyone's face revealed a serious expression. As soon as the phenomenon appeared, all the major powers, regardless of whether they were sects, empires, or ancient Hummet clans, sent people to search for the source of the phenomenon. Linley, who had only wanted to see the phenomenon, was currently enjoying the thrill of completing his mission. "Phew, I completed the mission at noon. The system ordered me to complete the mission within 5 years. There are still 3 years until the deadline. 2 years ago, I was still worried about this matter, but now I've completed it ahead of time. At this time, Lin Ray was standing in front of the cloud tower, thinking about what happened when he first accepted the system. His heart was filled with emotions. Humph, don't be so smug. The sect has been established, but you have to make sure that it won't be destroyed in the next 3 years. With your current cultivation, it's still too early to talk about this. Lin Ray was already used to the little dragon situation, so he didn't say anything. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for completing the task of establishing a sect within 5 years. The reward is 10 billion experience points. With the host's current body, it can't handle so much experience points. So as long as the host strengthens the body and realm in the following time, the host will break through to a higher realm very quickly. 1000 soul controlling pills. The system's reward notification sounded. After Lin Ray heard it, he was very excited, but he didn't show it on the surface. Little guy, if you're happy, then be happy. Every time you show a dead man's face, I really look down on you. At this time, the little dragon felt that Lin Ray's true thoughts were enough. He couldn't help but show a look of disdain on his face and said to Lin Ray, "It's none of your business. Go do whatever you need to do. I've just established my sect and there are still many things waiting for me to do." Hearing Lin Ray's words, the little dragon rolled its eyes at Lin Ray and then disappeared. Lin Ray also recovered from his daze. Looking at the disciples in front of him, Lin Ray felt incomparably carefree. Well, the sect has been established, but I don't want to appear so soon. With the current strength of the sect, I think I don't need to say it. Therefore, I feel that in the next year, everyone will go into seclusion. I will give you the best medicinal pills, the best cultivation methods, the best magic arts and martial skills for you to cultivate. In the next year, you must do your best to raise your cultivation to the highest level. Wow! After hearing Lin Ray's decision, everyone present was shocked. They thought that after the sect was established, they would send out a few powerful disciples to make a name for themselves in the Tianxian continent. However, this was very different from what they expected. Well, from now on, the Danzong sect will be the alchemy branch of the sect. It will be the most important branch of the sect. Dan Yunzi will be in charge of the branch elders. As for the specific allocation, we will discuss it after a year. There are also the assassination, refining, training, inner and outer sect, law enforcement, information, and the most important combat division. Of course, the sect doesn't have enough people right now. I will gradually fill up these divisions. Now, the most important thing is to go into seclusion. In the next 9 days, I will show you the main sect of the Xuanzong sect. You can start from the first floor or go to other floors. However, only the elders of the Xuanzong sect, me, and my personal disciples can enter the 7th, 8th, and 9th floors. As for cultivation methods, martial skills, and medicinal pills, I will have people give them to you on time. Yes, Sect Lord. We will remember Sect Lord's instructions. After hearing Linley's plan, everyone's faces revealed looks of joy. Okay, now you can all go in. As for the disciples who have just joined the sect, you will be personally taught by Bai Qi and Dian Wei. With that, Lin Ray opened the Cloud Pagoda. With Lin Ray's permission, everyone began to walk into the Cloud Pagoda. Lin Ray had already given the promised medicinal pills and cultivation methods to Dian Wei and Bai Qi. As for the others, because the people of the Danzong sect had already practiced their own cultivation methods, Lin Ray didn't give them any good cultivation methods. It wasn't that Lin Ray didn't want to give them any, but that if the disciples wanted to practice the cultivation methods given by Lin Ray, they would have to cripple their own cultivation first. Wan Yu, Shuyuan, Lin Tian, Dong Xiaonan, you guys don't need to go in. I will take you to the 9th floor. I have something to give you. With that, Lin Ray's spirit force wrapped around the 4 of them and they were instantly brought to the 9th floor of the Cloud Pagoda. When the 4 of them arrived at the 9th floor and saw the scenery and the spiritual energy, they couldn't help but reveal looks of envy in their eyes. They looked at Linley reluctantly. Okay, I will take you to the 8th floor. Although the spirit force there isn't as dense as here, it isn't bad. After Lin Rei finished speaking, he took out a book called Illusionary Sword Art from his storage ring and handed it to Dong Xiaonan with a serious expression. Brother, this sword art is a very powerful and profound martial technique. If you are willing to work hard and cultivate it, coupled with the Danzong Sect's cultivation methods, I believe your future will be limitless. This is all I can help you with. The rest is up to you. Looking at the illusionary sword art in Lin Rei's hand, Dong Xiaonan's eyes were filled with excitement. He took the sword art and spoke to Lin Rei. Don't worry, you've already helped me enough. Originally, I wanted to give up on cultivation, but now that I've met you, I'm full of confidence in cultivation. Don't worry, I'll work hard to cultivate and become a powerful helper for you. After that, Dong Xiaonan walked to the 8th floor, leaving only Lin Tian and the others. Sit down. There are no outsiders here, so there is no need to be nervous. Seeing the tense atmosphere, Lin Rei broke the tense atmosphere and sat down. Hearing Lin Li's words, Lin Tian and the other two revealed relaxed expressions as they sat down. However, Wan Yu was the most relaxed of them all. She directly walked over to Lin Li's side, grabbed Lin Li's arm, and smiled as she spoke to Lin Li. Master, look. I am your disciple. If I go out and get bullied by others in the future, won't you be embarrassed? So. Ha ha ha. Everyone laughed when they heard Wan Yu's words. Especially Lin Rei, he didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He really didn't think that this girl would learn to be like this. Okay, I know. I left the three of you here to give you something that can save your lives in the future. With your current cultivation, not to mention going out, even in this small place in the West, you might not have a chance of winning. Huh, I knew it. Master said that we are the closest. Master, give it to us quickly. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Wan Yu couldn't wait to shake his arm and acted coquettishly. With your temperament, if I give it to you first, I don't know how many people will be taken advantage of in the future. Looking at the way he was feeding his eldest disciple, Lin Rei couldn't help but sigh and shake his head. Okay, let's not talk nonsense. What I am going to give you next are two cultivation techniques called Dragon Subduing Step and Level 3 Incineration. These two cultivation techniques are incomparable to any other cultivation technique in the Tianxian continent. So, after I give it to you, you must not use it to harm the innocent. If I know that these two cultivation techniques harm people, at that time, I will personally take back all your cultivation and expel you from the sect. Although he was going to give them these two powerful cultivation techniques, Lin Rei didn't want them to use them to run amok. So, he told them the consequences of the matter in advance. After the three of them heard this, they stopped laughing and revealed an expression of wanting to go. Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous, it's fine as long as you don't offend anyone. Then, I'll tell you about the power of these two techniques. The Dragon Subduing Step has a total of 3 stages. The first stage can increase your cultivation by 1.5 times when compared to a cultivator who is 1 level higher than you. Cultivating to the second stage is the same, but the speed is indeed 2 times higher, and cultivating to the third stage can indeed increase your cultivation by 1.5 times compared to the second stage. The speed of the speed is unparalleled, and this technique does not exist in the Tianxian continent, it's the only one. If you cultivate it successfully, and with the dragon's blood as a guide, you can cultivate a dragon's soul and step on a dragon's soul. If all the disciples in the future are able to cultivate it, how explosive would the scene be? And the Level 3 Incineration is also composed of 3 stages, but each stage has many moves. The 3 stages are the Extreme Wind, Extreme Heaven, and Extreme Incineration. These 3 stages can only be used by those who have a certain degree of control over their own spirit roots. Moreover, this martial technique is already close to the heavenly Tao, so the cultivator must be extremely harsh on themselves to be able to cultivate it successfully. If they don't cultivate it diligently, then they won't be able to cultivate it in their lifetime. After the three of them heard Lin Rei's introduction, their eyes were filled with determination. They were even more certain that they would definitely learn these two cultivation techniques. It just so happens that all of you meet these conditions. Your aptitudes are all top-notch, so don't worry. As for the dragon's blood needed for the dragon subduing steps, I will get it for you. So after I pass it to you, you have to work hard and cultivate. Don't waste these two cultivation techniques. Yes, Master, young Master. We will definitely follow young Master's teachings. Hearing the three of them, Lin Rei smiled and nodded. Then, his left hand's finger instantly pointed at the hearts of the three of them. Suddenly, some golden runes were transmitted from Lin Rei's finger to the three of them. Soon, the cultivation techniques were transmitted to them. Alright, the cultivation techniques have been passed to you. Next, it will depend on your own efforts. Cough cough, cough cough. Suddenly, Lin Rei's complexion paled. He couldn't help coughing up blood and his entire body trembled. Seeing this scene, the three of them came to Lin Rei's side and asked with concern. Master, young Master, what's wrong? Are you feeling unwell? Seeing Lin Rei's appearance, the three of them were incomparably anxious. However, they were powerless and could only wait. Cough. Ah, it's nothing. It's just that I forcefully erased the 3 words of the Cloud Pagoda and received a backlash from the Cloud Pagoda. It's nothing serious. Alright, you all can cultivate here. I will go into seclusion first. During my seclusion, don't disturb me. After saying that, Lin Rei stood up and walked towards the depths of the 9th floor. On the way, Lin Rei felt a burning sensation in his heart. It was incomparably unbearable. Soon, Lin Rei arrived at the cultivation area of the previous generation of the Cloud Pagoda. He sat down with one hand on his chest and the other on the ground. His face revealed a painful expression. Little dragon, during this period of time, I will have to trouble you to call me Little Dragon when you get fatter. I know your ability. Hearing Lin Rei's request for help, the little dragon didn't say anything. It sat to the side as if it was waiting for something to happen. Hee, thank you. After saying that, Lin Rei closed his eyes and began to cultivate seriously. His cultivation technique and the devouring cultivation technique both operated at full speed. Immediately, the surrounding spirit energy began to madly gather with Lin Rei as the center. Slowly, 3 days passed. Lin Rei's injuries were healed after crazily absorbing spirit energy in the past 3 days. At this time, Lin Rei was full of spirit as he sat there. Looking at the little dragon who had protected him for 3 days, his eyes couldn't help but reveal a grateful expression. Well, the most important thing now is to quickly increase your cultivation. There are so many experience points. I believe that when you come out this time, you will definitely reach a height that you can't imagine. But before that, don't you want to go in and take a look at your information? There have been earth-shattering changes there. Lin Rei originally wanted to say something, but after hearing the little dragon's words, he suspiciously entered the system space. Check information. Shwa. A light flashed in an instant. The light became brighter and brighter until Lin Rei had to close his eyes. When he opened his eyes again, Lin Rei saw his information. However, the difference was that the surroundings were originally pitch black and he couldn't see anything. At this time, there were green mountains and clear water, and his personal information appeared in the sky. Name, Lin Rei. Age, 15. Cultivation, middle stage gold core experience, off the charts, spiritual roots, thunder, fire, wood, earth, for chaos spiritual roots talent. Peak of Spirit Severing Cultivation Technique, Chaos Scripture First Layer, Incomplete, Devouring Heavenly Technique, Growable, Hongmeng Alchemy, Entry Cultivation Technique, Cloud Art, Emperor Cultivation Technique, Martial Skills, Butterfly Steps, Entry Level, Stellar Finger, Proficient, Silent Thunder Spear Art, High Profound Rank. Martial Skill, now practiced to Entry Level, can produce 3 lightning bolts, Myriad Sword Art, heaven rank, spiritual treasure, martial emperor godly spear, high-level spirit chi, growable, myriad magic sword, no grade, myriad beasts furnace equipment, cloud treading boots, high-grade spiritual artifact, purple cloud Taoist robe, high-grade spiritual artifact, purple cloud inner armor, high-grade spiritual artifact, purple jade crown, low-grade immortal artifact, mount, red flaming tiger. Lower nascent soul, lucky draw wheel, 9 champion draw system. The champion draw opportunity has been used up. This system has been permanently sealed. Reputation points, 80,000 exchange points, 3,000 spiritual stones, 0 earth level alchemist, 1,000,050,000, top spiritual medicine, heaven and earth treasures, 50 kilograms of purple gold nephrite, 50 kilograms of purple gold sandside mission. Within the next 5 years, take in 5 of the best disciples. Each disciple must have top-notch aptitude. In 5 years, your disciples must make a name for themselves in the entire mysterious heavenly mainland. If you can't complete it in 5 years, you'll be erased by the system, just like the previous mission. Pills, 30 body strengthening pills, 200 soul gathering pills, 50 foundation establishment pills, 11 mind control pills, 1 breakthrough pill, and 11 nascent breakthrough pills. 2 adversity surpassing pills. 1,000 mind control pills. Chapter 112. Little Dragon, this. What's going on? Didn't I only have 3 types of spiritual roots? Why do I have a golden spiritual root now? Moreover, wasn't my innate talent top-notch? Why did it change now? Lin Rei was dumbfounded when he saw the changes in his information. He thought that the changes that the little dragon was talking about were only changes in the amount of experience and tasks. But the result was this scene that appeared in front of him. I'll explain this phenomenon to you in the future. It's not just a change now. When your cultivation reaches a higher level in the future, there will be more changes. You have to be mentally prepared for this kind of thing. I can only say that what's happening to you is something you'll never be able to imagine, or perhaps something you don't dare to imagine. After saying this, the little dragon closed his eyes as if to say, "Don't ask me, I won't tell you even if you ask." Humph, you're always like this. When I ask you about this matter, you always refuse to answer. I really don't know what's going on in your head. After saying that, Linli did the same as Xiaolong, closing his eyes. The only difference was that Linli was closing his eyes to combine the experience points he had obtained to increase his cultivation. With his previous experience in cultivation, Linli's cultivation speed was as fast as lightning. As Linli's cultivation was improving rapidly, Bing, Fate, and Tianyun, who were summoned by Linli, also improved along with Linli, except for Dian Wei, Bai Qi, and Red Lotus, who were in a coma. Lin Rei wasn't the only one who increased his cultivation. In the Cloud Pagoda, all the disciples were rapidly increasing their cultivation. Cultivation methods, martial skills, and martial skills were very precious in the outside world. But in the Cloud Pagoda, everyone had a cultivation method, martial skills, and even more martial skills. Even medicinal pills were eaten by everyone. If this scene was seen by outsiders, they would definitely be greedy and kill people to rob them. Time was something that couldn't be grasped but also wanted to be kept. Time passed by like a white steed flitting through a crack. 1 year, an entire year's time quietly disappeared just like that. During this year, many major events happened. A month after Linli went into seclusion, a sect suddenly rose up in the central continent. It was called the Kunlun Sect. As soon as this sect appeared, it crushed all the other sects and empires in the central continent with its powerful resources. From then on, it became the #1 sect in the central continent. No one dared to offend it. Some people even suspected that the founder of the Kunlun sect was not a native of the Tianxian continent. As for the phenomenon caused by Lin Rei a year ago, after many sects failed to find anything, they gradually forgot about it. However, searching for the Cloud Pagoda had become a matter that everyone in the profound sky continent was busy with. It turned out that after the Kunlun sect used their powerful resources to suppress the sects and empires of the central continent, they issued a notice saying that if anyone could find the Cloud Pagoda and provide clues, the Kunlun sect would promise to help that person reach the realm they wanted. If they could obtain the Cloud Pagoda and hand it over, they would be able to obtain the position of Vice Sect Master of the Kunlun sect. Once this news spread out, whether it was sects or empires, all of them began to frantically search for the Cloud Pagoda. As for the main character, Lin Rei, he was even more amazing. Originally, he had already reached the Midjindan stage within a year by relying on the experience he gained. Moreover, he had broken through to the peak of Golden Core on the same day that he went into seclusion. In half a year, Lin Rei constantly strengthened his body and realm. Using the 10 billion experience points, he directly entered the peak of Golden Core and began to break through. Lower stage of nascent soul, middle stage, upper stage, lower stage of out of body, middle stage, upper stage, lower stage of spirit severing, upper stage of mid stage, lower stage of body fusion, and finally lower stage of body fusion. Lin Rei only stopped when he reached the lower stage of body fusion. After he finished cultivating, Lin Rei looked at the information in the system. His vision turned dark and he directly fainted. When he woke up, it was already the afternoon of the next day. It turned out that Lin Rei saw that his experience points had risen to a terrifying level, so there was such a situation. However, after thinking it through, Lin Rei also felt relieved. After seeing that the speed of cultivation improvement was not fast, Lin Rei gave up cultivating and began to work hard to find a breakthrough in the alchemy world. Everything was going smoothly, and Lin Rei was also very excited. However, suddenly, after Lin Rei broke through to the peak of Earth-level alchemist, he could no longer break through to the next realm. No matter how many times he tried, and even Lin Rei did not hesitate to ask the little dragon for help, but in the end, Lin Rei was disappointed. He did not get the answer he wanted from the little dragon. From then on, Linley began to crazily refine pills, all for the sake of increasing his alchemy experience in order to achieve a breakthrough. But after half a year of struggle, Linley had practically refined all the pills he could refine, but in the end, he still hadn't achieved a breakthrough. Phew, still no breakthrough. A year's time has quietly passed. There's only 1 year left, only 1 year. I don't know if I can break through to heaven-level alchemist. If I can, then Red Lotus can wake up. If not, then, opening his eyes, Lin Rei thought about Red Lotus's lifespan, and his eyes were filled with helplessness and sadness. Hee, Lin Rei, don't be discouraged. Go out and take a look. Who knows, maybe you can break through outside. Even your cultivation can break through. There's no need to sit here and refine elixirs. Just as Lin Rei was thinking about Red Lotus in a daze, the little dragon emerged from the sky and said to Lin Rei. What you said is not without reason. I hope that in the next year, I can break through to my ideal level. Hearing the little dragon's words, Lin Rei said with a self-deprecating smile. A look of despair appeared in his eyes, but it was quickly replaced by determination. Well, in this year, I have broken through to the lower stage of the unification stage. I wonder how their cultivation is. After saying that, Lin Rei used a teleportation skill that could be used together after reaching the unification stage. When he arrived in front of his 2 disciples and saw that they were cultivating with their eyes closed, Lin Rei wanted to go elsewhere to take a look, but the 2 of them opened their eyes. Master, when did you come out of seclusion? In this year, you didn't come to see me. Do you know how much I miss you? Suddenly, after seeing Lin Rei, Wan Yu, who was originally sitting on the ground, became excited and instantly came in front of Lin Rei. She hung upside down on Lin Rei's body and acted coquettishly. Okay, come down. Master came this time to relieve your boredom. But I'll make it clear in advance. Unless you can reach the height I want, don't think about anything else. Go into seclusion for another year. Lin Rei, who was originally full of smiles, completely changed in the next moment. As the saying goes, you change your face faster than flipping a book. It was probably referring to Lin Ray. Hee, then Master, watch carefully. With a boom sound, a surge of explosive power exploded out from Wan Yu's body. Linley, upon sensing Wan Yu's aura, was astonished. I didn't expect it. I didn't expect you to be able to reach this level in a year. And, not bad. I'm now at the peak of the nascent soul stage, but I don't know why. After I reached the peak a month ago, I can no longer feel the opportunity to break through to the next realm. Hearing Wan Yu's words, Lin Ray knew that this was the result of only knowing how to break through and not understand the realm. Fortunately, it wasn't too late to find out. I know this situation. That's because your realm isn't high enough. You need to train at the edge of death in order to make a breakthrough. Otherwise. Lin Ray didn't say anything else. Instead, he shifted his gaze to alienation. When alienation saw Lin Ray's gaze, he already knew what Lin Ray meant. Boom! An aura that was even more powerful than Wan Yu's was revealed. This caused Linley to feel shocked. He did not expect a strange to have made such great progress. For a cultivator at the lower stage of Anidia to be able to reach the middle stage of out-of-body stage within a year, that was an extremely monstrous talent. And, the two of you are very hard-working, so Master has decided to let you experience the continent on your own and make a name for yourselves. If someone asks you who your master is, you can say that it's Lin Ray, the sect master of the Nine Heavens Xuanzong sect. Ah, really? We can really go out and experience the world? After hearing Lin Ray's decision, Wan Yu jumped up excitedly and confirmed with Lin Ray. That's right. Right now, you fellows have lost the ability to protect yourselves. Additionally, you fellows have been cultivating instead of experiencing life and death. If you don't walk on the edge of life and death, I fear that your future accomplishments will not be good. Besides, I don't want my good disciples to become trash. After hearing this, Wan Yu pulled alienation and jumped up in joy. He was originally a child, but he had been locked up here for a year. This was very rare. Everyone, listen up. The 1-year time limit is up. Immediately gather at the Sect Square. I'll give you 3 minutes. If anyone dares to be late, Let's go. Let's go out. With that, Lin Ray wrapped Wan Yu in alienation with his spirit force and brought them to an open space in front of the Cloud Tower. For cultivators like Linley, 3 minutes was just the blink of an eye. It did not take long for everyone to arrive at the open space as per Linley's request. Not a single one of them exceeded Linley's deadline. Seeing that, Linley was very happy. The first thing a sect had to look at was the rules. As the saying goes, without rules, there would be no order, right? Very good, all of you are very good. You were all able to arrive within the time I set. This makes me feel very gratified. I hope that all of you can continue to maintain this. Today, I called everyone here to see how much you have gained in this year. After he finished speaking, everyone present felt a terrifying oppressive aura pressing down on them. Instantly, everyone's body felt numb. It was as if they were being pressed down by a huge boulder. It was incomparably heavy. When the original Danzong sect elders and Dan Yunzi felt this pressure, the first thing they thought of wasn't the pressure, but the person releasing it. How is this possible? It's only been a year since we last met. I didn't expect Sect Master's cultivation to reach such a high realm. I'm really ashamed. Sect Master only used 1 year, but you used several hundred years. Truly, at this point, the original Danzong sect elders all lowered their noble heads in shame. Slowly, everyone present, with the exception of Hei Long, could no longer bear Lin Ray's pressure and bent their bodies. Some people even directly laid on the ground, but this wasn't a common occurrence. Not bad. To be able to reach such a level in a year, I'm very much looking forward to your future. I hope you won't disappoint me. Linley withdrew his pressure and hurriedly smiled at the crowd. As for those who were lying on the ground, they hurriedly stood up, their faces filled with shame. They lowered their heads, as though they were afraid that others would see them. Next, the control of all matters in the sect will be handed over to Baiyu. If you have any problems, you can look for him. As for those disciples who want to go out and train, you can look for Baiyu. If he agrees, you can go out and go to the outer area of the Ling Tian forbidden area. If anyone dares to go against me, I think I don't need to say more. You should know how I do things. When the crowd heard Lin Rei's words, they couldn't help but feel a cold wind blow at the back of their heads. They all shrunk their heads and quickly nodded in agreement. When Baiyu heard Lin Rei's words, he was stunned. Now, I'll tell you the rules of the sect. First, all disciples of the Xuanzong sect can go out and train. However, you are not allowed to kill innocent people, burn, kill, or rob. If I find out, kill. Second, you are not allowed to cause trouble. This doesn't mean that we are afraid. If that person is the one who started it, you can rest assured that the sect will be your strongest backing. However, if things aren't as you said, and you bullied others, kill. Third, after the disciples of the Xuanzong sect go out, they are not allowed to take things from others, except for things that have no owner. As the saying goes, if you don't take advantage of others, you are a bastard. However, if I find out that you stole someone's life or owed someone something to confuse the public, kill. These are the rules that I have set for the sect. If anyone dares to violate them, kill, kill, kill. When the crowd heard Lin Rei's rules, their faces were filled with nervousness and fear. Especially when they heard the word kill, they could clearly feel the murderous aura emanating from Lin Rei's body. It was so thick that it could even condense. Alright, you can all disperse. If anyone still wants to go in and train, you can cancel Elder Baiyu's appointment and let him give you a rank. Yes, we will definitely listen to the sect master's arrangements and remember the rules of the sect. We will never violate any of the rules of the sect. Hearing everyone's words, Linley only smiled and didn't say anything. Turning around, Linley led Wan Yu, Alienation, and Black Dragon subordinates to the newly built assembly hall. On the way, they were all silent. No one dared to say a word. The atmosphere was very strange. Chapter 113. Lin Rei led a group of people to the newly built conference hall. After pushing open the door, Lin Rei saw an extremely luxurious palace. To put it bluntly, this palace was many times more luxurious than the previous palace of the Danzong sect. Lin Rei had specially instructed Black Dragon to refine this palace using the best materials. Every wall in the hall was inlaid with high-grade spirit stones. In the middle of the larger hall, there was a small level 3 spirit gathering formation. Moreover, the materials used to make it were even better. For example, Tianshan sand, raging flame stone, and even a fingernail-sized piece of Xiantian living soil that Lin Rei had obtained. Every item here was enough to make people in the entire Tianxian continent go crazy. No sect or ancient sect in the Tianxian continent could compare to this. Looking at the construction of this palace, Lin Rei smiled and nodded. Then, he took the lead and sat down on the sect master's seat in the conference hall. Looking at the important people who followed him, Lin Rei nodded and let them sit down. Today, those who are present are either my disciples, my good brothers, or my loyal subordinates. There are no outsiders here. Everyone here is my trusted aide. Hearing Lin Rei's words, everyone's eyes were filled with gratitude. Looking at Lin Rei, who was sitting on the sect master's seat, they secretly swore in their hearts that they would only be loyal to Lin Rei for the rest of their lives. Perhaps you don't know this, but when I went to the Pill sect, I was ambushed by someone. Furthermore, at that time, that person's strength was that of an overlord. It was because of that ambush that the woman I loved the most was injured while protecting me. Even now, she's still in a state of coma. At that time, I asked someone to take a look at her. My lover only had 3 years left to live, but it is not completely impossible to save her. As long as I can reach the nascent soul stage within 3 years and find a heaven-grade alchemist, she can be saved. You have seen that my strength has surpassed the nascent soul stage, but until now, I have not found a heaven-grade alchemist. Now, I only have 1 year left, so I want you to help me. No matter where you go, you have to help me find out. Even if there is no heaven-grade alchemist, at least find some clues. As he spoke, Lin Rei's eyes dimmed, and a sorrowful and chagrined expression appeared on his face. This scene made Bing's heart ache. Not only Lin Rei, but also Dian Wei and Bai Qi had the same expression. They were companions and friends who had fought together. Now that they thought about it, how could they not feel sorrowful? Sect Master, when the two of us were training, we heard about such a thing. Lin Rei, who was sitting on the main seat, raised his head and kowtowed after hearing Bai Qi's words. With a serious look of hope, he looked at Dian Wei and Bai Qi and asked excitedly, "Oh, what is it? Is there any clue about a heaven-grade alchemist, or how to break through to the heaven grade?" Seeing the excited look on his master's face, Bai Qi hurriedly explained to Lin Li what he had unintentionally overheard during his training. Here's the thing. When the two of us were not far from the central continent, we heard that alchemists relied on the strength of their mental strength to make a breakthrough. Later, we heard that there was a group of people who were born with strong mental strength living on the Tianxian continent. If you want to make a breakthrough or look for them, you can go to the central continent and see if it's true. However, I can't guarantee it, because I only heard the general idea. After hearing Bai Qi's words, Lin Li's face revealed an excited expression. What Bai Qi had said was very true. Alchemists were able to become alchemists because they had cultivated a strong spiritual force. Only with a strong spiritual force could one break through to become an alchemist. Therefore, Lin Li was certain that what Bai Qi had said was 100% true. Tell me, what kind of people are born with mental strength? Where do they live? What kind of people are they? When Lin Rei heard that there was hope for him to break through to the heaven grade or find a heaven grade alchemist, he couldn't wait to ask Bai Qi a lot of questions. The group of people who saw Lin Rei's expression were all dumbfounded. In their minds, Lin Rei had always been a very calm person. I heard that they are from the elf clan. Because of their unique appearance and their close relationship with nature, they have a name. They are called the favored children of nature. In the Tianxian continent, everyone wants to get their hands on an elf. However, because of this, the elves have sealed off their clan. However, someone once went to the elf clan and wrote down the coordinates of their clan. It's said that they are in the central region of the middle continent, a place called the Black Forest. That's right, there is such a place, but there is a powerful formation there. Unless someone can avoid the formation and directly enter, even a Mahayana realm cultivator will lose their life inside. After Bai Qi finished speaking, Black Dragon, who had been silent all this time, spoke up. At the same time, a solemn expression appeared on his face. Really? That is to say, as long as I can enter, I will be able to see the elves. That way, I will be able to obtain their help and become a heaven-grade alchemist or find a heaven-grade alchemist. After hearing Bai Qi and the Black Dragon's words, Lin Rei could no longer sit still. After learning that Hong Lian could be saved, Lin Rei could no longer sit still. Although Lin Rei's body was sitting here, his soul had already flown into the Black Forest. I can, but I heard that although the elf race is very gentle, after being captured and killed by cultivators in the past, the elf race will not listen to any explanations and will kill humans when they see them again. After learning that there was a way to save Hong Lian, Lin Rei simply did not listen to any explanations, so, okay, I know about this matter. I gathered all of you here this time because I will be going out to train, so I will assign you tasks. After hearing Lin Rei's words, everyone looked at Lin Rei as if they already knew. As for me, my current cultivation realm can't be broken through just by sitting down and cultivating. Therefore, I thought about it when I was in seclusion. This time, not only me, but also some of you will go out to experience the world. For example, one you is now in the nascent soul stage. As the saying goes, although the flowers in the greenhouse look beautiful, if they don't experience some wind and rain, they will be easily broken. After hearing Lin Rei's words, everyone present nodded in agreement. Among them, Wan Yu was the happiest. She had always dreamed of going out for a walk, and now her dream had finally come true. Ming, Tian Yun, He Bing, the three of you will stay in the sect to train the newly recruited disciples. I want you to select 100 children with strength, perseverance, and loyalty within a year and train them into assassins of the Dark Department. I want them to become the right-hand men of the sect. As for the enforcers, similarly, select 50 people from the disciples you have previously trained and have them quickly improve their cultivation so that they can become enforcers. As for Ming, you will be the leader of the Dark Department, and Tian Yun, you will be the leader of the Dark Department. After handing over the mission to the three of them, Linley saw the look in their eyes. He felt that it was the right decision to leave the mission to them. And then, Linley turned his gaze to the Black Dragon. Looking at the Black Dragon, Linley thought for a long time before finally speaking. Black Dragon, you are a divine beast, so you don't need to do anything. You just need to guard the sect. If anyone dares to cause trouble in the sect, just do as you wish. Moreover, I already told the Cloud Pagoda's artifact spirit that you can go in whenever you want. No one will stop you. Hearing Lin Rei's words, the Black Dragon wasn't happy because Lin Rei wanted him to guard the sect. But after hearing that he could go out of the Cloud Pagoda, the Black Dragon felt a bit better. Alright, you be careful. As long as I'm here, the sect won't have any problems. Moreover, with the sect's protective formation, I won't be able to help much. Hearing the Black Dragon agree, Lin Rei felt a lot more relieved. Then Lin Rei looked at Dong Xiaonan. At this time, Dong Xiaonan's expression was very complicated. He didn't know what he was thinking. Brother Dong, since you are now a disciple of the Xuanzong sect, I can't treat you unfairly. No matter what, we are brothers. Dong Xiaonan, who was thinking nonsense, heard Lin Rei's words and quickly raised his head. He smiled and said to Lin Rei, Sect Master, just say it. As long as you command, this brother will go through water and tread on fire. I won't hesitate. Okay. After hearing Dong Xiaonan's words, Lin Rei felt relieved. He then told Dong Xiaonan his plan. I want to establish my own trading company in the Pill King City. Moreover, I want to establish a teleportation formation in the trading company. You should know the current situation of the sect. We can't frequently appear in the Lingtian Forbidden Land. Otherwise, it would be easy for others to find our whereabouts. Therefore, I want to establish a teleportation formation on both sides. This way, we can solve the problem of the sect's whereabouts and also prepare the funds and resources for the sect's future development. What do you think? After hearing Lin Rei's words, the smile on Dong Xiaonan's face immediately disappeared. It was replaced by fear. The clothes on his back were instantly drenched in cold sweat. Ah, this can be done. I'm just afraid that I won't be able to do it and will ruin your plans. It's okay. I feel that everyone here can ruin it. Only you, I don't think. When Linley saw that Dong Xiaonan wanted to refuse, he quickly realized what he was thinking. No one knew about this except for Linley. Dong Xiaonan's family was a giant trading company in the central continent. Although he had never experienced the operations of a trading company, Linley was certain that Dong Xiaonan would be able to do it. Ah, okay. Since you trust me so much, I won't refuse. Okay, I will start the construction and planning of the trading company tomorrow. Hearing Dong Xiaonan's agreement, Lin Rei breathed a sigh of relief. He smiled and said to Dong Xiaonan, Don't worry. Since you are establishing the trading company for the sect will not ignore it. I will send dozens of nascent soul intermediate and lower nascent soul stage disciples to help you. I will also send more than 30 golden core stage cultivators to help you. What do you think? Lin Rei's words instantly shocked everyone present. Dozens of nascent soul stage cultivators and 30 golden core stage cultivators. This was a force to be reckoned with even in the eastern continent. If such a force appeared in the western continent, the scene would be... Ha ha ha, that's naturally good. However, what name should we give this trading company? It can't be called the Xuanzong Sect. Well, then let's call it the Jiutian Trading Company. I can only give you a name. As for other things, I don't know anything. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Dong Xiaonan nodded with a smile and then walked out. The tasks are almost done. As for the other elders who don't have any tasks, all of you will go out and find me some better disciples with excellent aptitude and spiritual roots in the Tianxian continent. When I leave, I will tell you how to find better disciples. However, the disciples must be orphans or beggars. I only want these, and I will not accept anyone else. Do you hear me? After hearing Lin Rei's words, those who didn't have tasks hurriedly nodded and agreed. Since everything was over, Lin Rei could naturally be a manager. Okay, you can all leave. Wan Yu, Shuyuan, Bai Qi, Dian Wei, and Lin Tian stay here. Everyone left according to Lin Rei's order. Only the people who Lin Rei had assigned to them were left. The four of them looked at each other, not knowing why Lin Rei had asked them to stay. Let's go. This time, I'm going to take you to the central continent to see what's so good about it. Of course, you all know the most important thing, right? After hearing Lin Rei's words, everyone showed an expression of understanding at the same time. Just like that, on the same day that Lin Li exited his closed-door training, he left the sect with 5 people. Riding the little golden dragon, he flew towards the central continent. Those who received Lin Li's mission also left the sect separately. Especially Dong Xiaonan, after leaving the sect, he brought a large group of people with him. At this moment, there weren't many people left in the sect. Time passed quickly. The distance between the western continent and the central continent was very far. However, with the little golden dragon flying day and night, after more than half a month, Lin Rei finally led everyone to the central continent that all practitioners dreamed of. Damn, it's true. The spiritual qi in the central continent is much denser than in the western continent. And this is only the edge of the central continent. If we were in the central continent, the spiritual qi would be even denser. The moment Lin Rei set foot on the central continent, he felt the difference in the density of the spiritual qi. Forget it. Our main task this time is to find the elf tribe. In the future, I'll move the Xuanzong sect to the central continent. The words of the guard at the city gate attracted the attention of the surrounding onlookers. Those who liked to join in the fun all squeezed up like bees in a cocoon, wanting to see a good show. Are you sure there's such a rule? You're not just looking at me. Are you guys easy to bully? When Lin Rei heard the guard's words, the anger in his heart couldn't help but erupt. But when he thought of the important things he had to do, he suppressed it. That's right. The Valley City has this rule for outsiders and weaklings. So, if you want to enter, you either have to be strong or pay up quickly. Okay, I didn't expect the culture of the Middle Continent to be like this. This time, I've really learned something. After saying that, Lin Rei chose to pay the spirit stones instead of revealing his cultivation. This was because Lin Rei didn't want to tell others about his cultivation so quickly. Here, these are the spirit stones for the 6 of us to enter the city. Now, we can enter. After saying that, Lin Rei directly threw 600 upper-grade spirit stones to the guard. Then, he lifted his foot and wanted to walk into the city. But when the guard received the spirit stones, his face suddenly had a look of regret. Wait, the rules to enter the city have changed. The current rule is that everyone has to pay 1,000 upper-grade spirit stones. Otherwise, don't even think about, greedy thing. I gave you the spirit stones because I didn't want to make a big deal out of this. I gave you face, so you should accept it. But you don't want face. You. Seeing the guard's shamelessness, the anger that Lin Ray had been suppressing in his heart burst out and he scolded the guard. Bang! As soon as Lin Li finished speaking, Wan Yu, who had been standing behind him, couldn't help but strike out. Wan Yu casually slapped out with her palm in the direction of that guard, and instantly, an illusory palm landed directly on that guard's body. In an instant, that guard was transformed into a pile of mangled meat. Hiss! Suddenly, everyone who saw this scene, whether it was the crowd or the guards, was scared silly. They never thought that these people would be powerful cultivators. Even though the leader, Lin Ray, didn't make a move, the people behind him knew that this little girl had such a cultivation. It could be seen how powerful the leader was. Master, I'm sorry. I didn't want to cause trouble, but they were really too shameless, so it's okay. It's just an ant. Kill it, kill it. This can only be blamed on their insatiable greed. Seeing Wan Yu's expression, Lin Ray hurriedly comforted her and blamed everything on the guard so that Wan Yu's guilt would be eliminated. Sure enough, after hearing Lin Ray's words, the lively and cute Wan Yu returned. This is the result of your insatiable greed. In the future, open your eyes. If there is a next time, I will definitely make all of you accompany him. After he finished speaking, Lin Li led Wan Yu and the others into the city, leaving behind a group of dumbstruck onlookers who still hadn't recovered from their shock. Heavens, did you see that? The one who made a move should be a child. Yes, looking at her age, I am only 10 years old, but her strength. After Lin Ray left, the group of dumbfounded onlookers woke up. Each and every one of them had an inconceivable expression as they thought about the little girl who made a move to injure the guard. Not long after, this matter spread throughout Valley City. There was no one who didn't know that a little girl casually waved her hand and killed a guard in the fasting realm. Master. Why are they all looking at us like that? Do they know that we killed people on the city gate tower? Lin Ray and the others were walking on the city's main street. Seeing the people around them constantly looking at them, Wan Yu couldn't bear it anymore. It's fine. If they want to look, then let them look. Let's hurry up and buy the map. Then Master will take you to eat the best food in Valley City. Really? Alright. Lin Li assented to Wan Yu, and then went to the best trading company in Valley City. Dong Trading Company? Lin Ray raised his head and looked at the words above his head. Lin Ray knew that this was the business of Dong Xiaonan's family. Let's go. Let's hurry up and buy the things. After that, we'll go eat good food. After he finished speaking, Lin Li walked into the interior of the Dong Clan Trading Company. At first glance, the interior was filled with an antique style. It was glittering with jewels, spirit medicines, spirit treasures, medicinal pills, talismans, and so on. Lin Li couldn't help but be speechless when he saw this scene. Oh, young master, what do you want to buy from my Dong Trading Company? In our Dong Trading Company, there's nothing you can't buy. Just as Lin Ray was about to walk around the trading company, a very beautiful girl enthusiastically walked up to him and greeted him. Oh, I want to buy a detailed map of the central continent. Does your trading company have it? Seeing the enthusiastic girl, Lin Ray couldn't help but take a few more glances. Then, he told her what he didn't want to buy. Oh, so young master has just arrived in the central continent. So you want to buy a map? After saying that, the girl walked to the side. After a while, she came back with something that looked like a piece of animal skin in her hand. Here, this is the detailed map of the central continent. Seeing that it's the first time you've come to our trading company, I'll give you a 10% discount. Now, young master only needs to give me 3 mid-grade spirit stones, and this map is yours. Hearing the receptionist's words, Lin Ray directly took out 3 mid-grade spirit stones from his storage ring and handed them to the receptionist. Then, he took the map. My purpose for coming here has been completed. I won't disturb you anymore. After saying that, Lin Rei led Wan Yu and the others outside. Looking at the map in his hand, Lin Rei's face revealed an excited expression. Let's go. Let's find an inn, have a meal, and then rest for the night. After that, we'll set off to find the Black Forest. After saying that, Lin Rei threw the map into his storage ring and came to the largest restaurant in the Valley City. Oh, young masters and young ladies, what would you like to eat? At our spring pavilion, we have everything. Then just order your signature dishes, and then take a few bottles of your good wine. There's nothing else to eat. The most important thing is to be quick. After hearing Lin Rei's words, the waiter's face was almost squeezed with a smile and he walked towards the kitchen. Ding dong, found a young man with the best aptitude. Can choose to accept him as a disciple. Is the host willing? Suddenly, Lin Rei, who was sitting down, stood up when he heard that someone with the aptitude to accept a disciple had appeared. He looked around, wanting to find the person with the aptitude to accept a disciple. Hey, didn't you say that someone with the aptitude to accept a disciple had appeared? Where is he now? Why can't I see him? After looking for a long time and not seeing the person with the best aptitude, he walked back to his seat and asked the system. However, the system didn't even let out a fart and was silent. F***CK, can you still do it? Why are you the same as Xiaolong? You don't even know what to say? Just as Lin Rei was feeling vexed, suddenly, there was a noise at the door, and Lin Rei's gaze was attracted. Sir, please give me some food as alms. My little sister hasn't eaten for 4 days. If she doesn't eat today, I'm afraid she won't be able to hold on. Sir, I beg you. At this moment, at the entrance of the restaurant, a little brat was kneeling in front of the entrance. His entire body was covered in cuts and bruises, and he was begging a man in luxurious clothes at the entrance with tears streaming down his face. Get lost, stinky beggar. What does your sister's death have to do with me? Do you know that my clothes are very expensive? Now that you've dirted them, what do you think we should do? Should I cut off your left hand or your right hand? When the middle-aged man in gorgeous clothes saw that his clothes had been dirted by the beggar in front of him, he angrily slapped the beggar who was kneeling on the ground. Humph, scum. You won't even let a child go. Do you still have any humanity? Just as the middle-aged man's hand was about to hit the little brat, a hand suddenly appeared from the side and caught the middle-aged man's hand. Little beggar, you have to be more careful when you ask for food in the future. There are many scum like him. Be more careful in the future. At this time, the young man who caught the middle-aged man's hand said to the little beggar who was kneeling on the ground. Yes, yes, I know. Thank you, benefactor. As he spoke, the little brat hurriedly walked to the side. Lin Rei, who had been watching this scene, saw that the young man who had blocked the middle-aged man's hand was Lei Dong, who had been following him when he first entered the Danzong sect. At this time, Lin Rei's interest was piqued. Ding dong, the target has appeared. He is only a few meters away from you. I hope that the host will not miss such a good seedling. Suddenly, the system's voice sounded again. At this time, Lin Rei thought of the little brat just now. In an instant, a fanatical expression appeared on his face. He hurriedly stood up and walked to the door to look at the little brat. System, scan all the information of that little brat. Don't leave out a single one. When the system received Lin Rei's order, a section of information belonging to the little brat appeared in front of Lin Rei's eyes. Name, none age, 11 gender, male physique, innate water spiritual Tao body cultivation, none spiritual root, single water spiritual root, supreme grade aptitude, supreme grade family, only one sister. After seeing the little brat's information, Lin Rei became excited. Especially after seeing the innate water spiritual Tao body, he became even more excited. Although Lin Rei did not know what the innate water spiritual Tao body meant, for the system to take a fancy to this kind of body would not be bad. Little brother, I don't know if you are willing to be my disciple. As long as you are willing to be my disciple, I can give you everything, including the life of the man who was about to kill you. At this time, Lin Rei impatiently walked to the little beggar's side and said to him. Looking at him, Lin Rei's eyes were filled with worry. This was because Lin Rei was afraid that the little beggar would not agree. Really, can you really give me what I want? At this time, the little beggar who was sitting on the ground hurriedly stood up after hearing Lin Rei's words. He looked at the big brother in front of him with a nervous expression and asked. Yes, as long as you want it. Okay, I agree. I will be your disciple. However, I have a presumptuous request. My sister is still sick right now. I want my sister to be your disciple. Hearing Little Wimp's words, Linley immediately agreed. Because in Linley's opinion, as long as one's talent wasn't too bad, with the Cloud Pagoda, Linley believed that even if one's talent was slightly inferior, he would still be able to make that person's name shake the entire profound sky continent. Master, please accept a bow from your disciple. Hearing Lin Rei agree, the little brat hurriedly knelt on the ground and kowtowed to Lin Rei. Okay, since you are now my disciple, then I will take care of the people who bullied you before. Chapter 115. Lei Dong, it's been a while since we last met. You're still as nosy as ever. Lin Rei stepped forward and stared at Lei Dong. Although he didn't wish to see Lei Dong, he had to do it for his disciple. Yo, Brother Lin. What brings you to the central continent? I was still thinking of returning to the western continent to look for you when I have the time. It seems like I don't need to anymore. Hearing his name being called, Lei Dong turned his head. Seeing the person he had been interested in, he was so excited that he wanted to go up and hug him, but was stopped by Linley. Don't. No matter what, I'm still a straight man. I'm not a nosy woman like you. Seeing Lei Dong's actions, Linley was so frightened that he hurriedly dodged to the side, while grumbling non-stop. Ha ha ha, I didn't expect Brother Lin to be so mean after not seeing him for so long. Since we've met today, why don't you come to my place for a gathering? I can also show my hospitality as a host. Sure, let's talk about it after I'm done with my business. Hearing Lei Dong's words, Linley didn't refuse. Instead, he walked towards the man who was bullying the little beggar. His eyes were filled with killing intent. At the same time, he released his pressure and rushed towards the man. Boom! The man felt Lin Rei's aura and his body couldn't help but kneel on the ground. You. What do you want? I don't remember offending you. The man stared at Linley, his eyes filled with terror as he spoke to this complete stranger. Heh, we don't know each other, but you bullied my disciple just now. How do you think we should settle this debt? What's even more abominable is that you actually wanted to kill my disciple just now. This makes me even more unable to tolerate you. It wasn't just the kneeling man. Even the nearby Lei Dong, who was listening to Linley's words, couldn't understand what was going on. Who's your disciple? I don't even know him. You're doing this on purpose. Before the man could finish his sentence, he saw the little beggar standing beside Lin Rei. At this moment, he finally understood what was going on. So you're this little beggar's master. In other words, you're a big beggar. I advise you to let me go. Do you know who my father is? If my father knows that you're bullying me, he will definitely kill all of you. But if the people I care about are bullied, I don't care what his background is or how powerful he is. As long as he dares to bully my family or friends, there is only one word in my memory, and that is death. Hearing the man's words, Linley didn't care at all, nor did he want to know. Because in his dictionary, no one could touch his reverse scale. Although this little beggar had only just become his disciple, Linley had already included him in his protection zone. You can't kill me. Ah, poof. Lin Rei didn't care about the man who was howling. He slammed his palm on the man's head. Instantly, blood and brain matter flowed out. The passers-by who saw this scene couldn't bear the scene and fainted. Some of them even screamed in terror. At this moment, Linley turned his head to look at the little beggar behind him. Immediately, Linley nodded his head manly. Not bad. You're not bad. Let's go in and have a seat. After he finished speaking, he left the place and brought Lei Dong and the little beggar into the restaurant. As for the man who was already dead, he was left on the spot, allowing his blood to flow out. Master, young master, just now, it's fine. He's just a person who doesn't want to work. Come, let me introduce my new disciple. Linley returned to his seat. Looking at these people, he began to introduce his new disciple, the little beggar. By the way, what's your name? I can't keep calling you little beggar. Hearing Lin Rei's words, the little beggar's eyes dimmed. His face revealed a sad expression. I don't have a name. My sister and I were abandoned when we were young. We don't know who our parents are. The words of the little beggar infected everyone at the table, especially the same euphemism of the little beggar. Since it's like this, how about I give you a name? Okay, thank you master for giving me a name. The little beggar heard Lin Rei's words and his sad face revealed a smile. Since you're my disciple, you'll have the same surname as me. In my family, there is an emperor named Shenyuan. In my hometown, he was a great man who could suppress the 8 barren lands. Thus, I will bestow upon you the name Lin Shenyuan. I hope that you will not forget your original goal and work hard to suppress the 8 barons. When he heard Lin Rei's name, Lin Shenyuan was extremely excited. He kept shouting the name that Lin Rei had given him. I'm really curious. What are Brother Lin's parents like? They have the power to suppress Ba Huang. At that moment, Lei Dong, who had been listening on the side, was very curious. What kind of person were Lin Rei's parents? My hometown? Sigh, maybe I will, maybe I won't. That will depend on fate. Alright, I hope that in the future, Brother Lin, you can take me to your hometown to have a look. Alright, everyone, let's eat. We're in a hurry. Linley looked at the dishes on the table, then looked at Shenyuan, who was swallowing his saliva. He quickly picked up his chopsticks, added a piece of meat, and put it in front of Shenyuan. He looked at him dotingly. Eat. You won't have to suffer so much in the future. Master will protect you. Looking at Shenyuan, Lin Rei's nose twitched. If he didn't control himself well, he would have burst into tears. Yes, brother. In the future, not only will you have a master, you will also have a senior sister. Everyone here will be your family. Wan Yu, who had been looking at Shenyuan, also picked up a piece of meat and put it in Xuanyuan's bowl. She looked at Shenyuan with care. Seeing so many people care about him, Shenyuan couldn't help but cry. This was the first time he had felt the care of his family. It was a feeling that he would never forget. Looking at the meat in his bowl, Shenyuan thought of his sister, who was suffering in the broken house. For a moment, Shenyuan couldn't bring himself to eat. What's wrong? Does it not taste good? Do you want me to change it for you? Lin Rei felt like he was biting Shenyuan. He thought the meat didn't taste good. No. No, master. I just thought of my sick sister. She hasn't eaten for 4 days. If she doesn't eat, I'm afraid, Shenyuan couldn't help but cry when he thought of his sister. So that's how it is. How about this? Master will take you to find your younger sister now and cure her illness. Then, I'll bring you to eat. What do you think? Hearing his master's words, Shenyuan became excited. He quickly stood up and knelt on the ground, kowtowing to Lin Rei. Thank you, master. Thank you. He kept kowtowing. Wan Yu wanted to help him up, but Shenyuan refused. Alright, hurry up and get up. Otherwise, I'll be angry. After that, Xianyuan stood up obediently. He was not in the mood to stay any longer. Look at how anxious you are. Let's go. Show me the way later. After speaking, Lin Rui picked up Xianyuan. In an instant, Lin Rui disappeared. Lei Dong saw this scene and his eyes widened. His face was full of disbelief. What's going on? Could it be? Lei Dong looked at Wanyu, who was eating, as if to ask her if it was true. Yes, you're right. Master has indeed reached that level. After receiving confirmation, Lei Dong was dumbfounded. Lin Rui had only left for a short time, but his speed of improvement was already terrifying. At this moment, Lin Rui, who was carrying Xianyuan, quickly arrived at the place where Xuanyuan's sister lived. This was a place halfway up a mountain not far from the city center. There was a dilapidated house here that was on the verge of collapse. If there was a rainstorm, the house would very likely collapse. Seeing this scene, Linley's heart ached. When he thought of how his disciple had been living in a house like this, Linley's heart felt very uncomfortable. Cough, cough. At this moment, a coughing sound came from the room. Xianyuan jumped down from Lin Rui's arms and hurried into the room. Sister, don't let anything happen to you. If anything happens to you, how am I supposed to live? Not long after, Xuanyuan's cries could be heard. Lin Rui hurried into the room and saw a skinny little girl lying in Xuanyuan's arms. Her life force was slowly fading away. Seeing this, Lin Rui hurried forward and took the little girl from Xuanyuan's arms. Then, he directly transferred his spiritual energy into the little girl's body. Slowly, the little girl's life force stopped fading. However, before this, the little girl's life force was almost exhausted. If there were no treasures that could replenish her life force and blood chi, she would not be able to survive. Master, you have to save my sister. She is my everything. She can't die. If she dies, then. Alright, I didn't say I wouldn't save her. Hearing Xuanyuan's words, Lin Rui hurriedly stopped him. He took out a red pill from his storage ring and stuffed it into the little girl's mouth. After doing all this, Linley let out a sigh of relief. Then, from his storage ring, he took out some beast hides that he had cut off from the demonic beasts he had killed in the past and laid them on top of the little girl. Alright, your sister is fine now. However, due to years of malnutrition, her foundation is unstable. You have to take good care of her in the future. Otherwise, her life will be ruined. After saying this, Lin Rui walked out alone, leaving Xianyuan alone to take care of his sister. Chapter 116. Xianyuan, who was left in the room, looked at his sister lying in his arms. He couldn't hold back his tears, and they gushed out like a fountain. He couldn't stop the tears from gushing out of his eyes. Sister, it's all my fault. It's all my fault. Don't worry. I'll protect you from now on. I won't let you get hurt again. I swear. Cough, brother, don't say that. It has nothing to do with you. It's my fault. Ah, sister, you're awake. Do you feel uncomfortable anywhere? If you do, just tell me. Don't hold it in. Xianyuan, who was secretly crying, suddenly heard his sister's words. He raised his head excitedly and looked at his sister, who had woken up in his arms. He breathed a sigh of relief. I'm fine. I feel warm. I've never felt this way before. The little girl, who was lying on the ground, heard her brother's words. She quickly felt her body and found that there was a warm current flowing through her body. That's good. As long as you're fine. It seems that Master didn't lie to me. My sister is finally fine. I helped you save your sister. I didn't expect that you didn't trust me. As soon as Xianyuan finished speaking, Lin Rei came in through the door. He looked at Xianyuan angrily with a big bag of things in his hand. I didn't, master. Forget it. I don't want to pursue the matter. It's normal that you don't trust me. After all, we've only known each other for a few hours. But I don't want this to happen again. Remember, since I've accepted you as my disciple, I'll treat you like my own son. So don't be suspicious of me in the future, okay? Hearing that his master wasn't going to pursue the matter, Xuanyuan's tense body immediately relaxed. Come on. Your sister hasn't eaten for a few days, so eating meat right away is not good for her stomach. I went to the restaurant to get you some porridge and meat. It turned out that after Lin Rei went out, he immediately teleported back to the restaurant and asked the owner to make some porridge and meat for them to eat. Seeing this scene from afar, tears welled up in his eyes. He was very grateful. He didn't expect that Linli had gone out to get food for them. Thank you, master. Thank you, master. If you want to thank me, then properly cultivate in the future and wait for the day when your name shakes the entire profound sky continent. That's the best way for me. As he spoke, Linli placed the meat on the ground. Instantly, the smell of meat wafted out. Xuanyuan's eyes were glued to the meat on the ground after he smelled it. Hurry up and eat. Your sister can't eat meat yet, so you should go and eat first. I'll feed your sister. Linli took the little girl from Xuanyuan's arms and took out a bowl of hot porridge from his storage ring. He fed the little girl spoonful by spoonful. Ding dong, congratulations, host. You have discovered a disciple with supreme aptitude. Do you want to accept him as your disciple? After muttering her name a few times, Yuro excitedly jumped out of Lin Rei's arms. All right, now that you are all my disciples, let's go. When we get there, I will introduce you to your eldest senior sister and second senior brother. After saying this, Lin Rei carried each child under his arm and quickly arrived at the restaurant where Wanyu was at. Master, you're back. At this time, Wanyu, who had been observing the entrance, suddenly saw Lin Rei walk in with two children. She quickly came over to greet him. Yes, this time I have gained quite a lot. Didn't I bring back 2 junior brothers and sisters for you? After saying this, Lin Rei pointed to the 2 children at the side, Xianyuan and Yuro. Come, you 2 little fellows. Let me introduce you to everyone here. This big sister in front of you is your eldest senior sister. She was the first to enter the sect. Her cultivation is now at the peak of the Yuanying stage. That bald man is your second senior brother. His cultivation is much higher than your eldest senior sister's. His cultivation is now at the peak of the out-of-body stage. As for the one beside him, Linli continued to introduce all of the important people to him, before finally arriving at Thunderclap's place. As for him, I don't know the details. I only know that his cultivation should be at the same level as your second senior brother. As for whether he can defeat your second senior brother, I don't know. What the F***ck, are you introducing me? You're clearly ruining my handsome and dashing appearance. Hearing Lin Rei's introduction, Lei Dong instantly became unhappy. Then, he introduced himself again. You 2 brats, remember to call me Martial Uncle in the future. I'm your master's brother. My name is Lei Dong. Although I'm not particularly handsome, I'm indeed a handsome and elegant man. As for cultivation base, it is similar to what your master said. My family is in the city of heaven. If you have time in the future, you can come over to my place. Alright. Stop being so arrogant. I still have things to tell them. Lin Rei, who was next to him, heard Lei Dong's self-introduction. Lin Rei couldn't help it. He had seen narcissistic people before, but he had never seen such a narcissistic person. Lei Dong was not good-looking, but he made himself sound like a handsome man. Okay. Go ahead. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Lei Dong gave the right to speak to Lin Rei with a narcissistic smile. Wan Yu, take Xianyuan and Euro back to the sect with Shuyuan and Dian Wei. It's too inconvenient for them to follow me here. When they get back to the sect, let them enter the 9th floor and prepare a large number of pills for them. As for the cultivation methods, I've engraved them in this jade pendant. Also, give them the things I taught you. Take care of yourself along the way. Take care of yourselves. Everyone present was very surprised. They didn't expect Lin Rei to say this. For a moment, Wan Yu didn't want to, but she still took the jade pendant in Lin Rei's hand. Master, I just came out, and you want me to go back? How about you let my junior brother take them back, and I will stay here? Seeing Wan Yu's expression, Lin Rei knew that she didn't want to go back to the sect. When you go back, give them the things you need to give them. Then you can come out and practice alone. This will be more beneficial for your cultivation. Really? I can come out again? Hearing Lin Li's words, Wan Yu was so excited that she began to scream. Instantly, everyone present turned to look at her. Sigh, all right, hurry up and leave. Little Tian stays here. As for you, follow Wan Yu. When you return to the sect, come out and practice alone. When I go back, I want to see your progress. Do you understand? Yes, I will follow your orders. Then Bai Qi, Dian Wei, and the others took Xianyuan and Euro out of the hotel and walked towards the western continent. At this moment, only Lin Rei, Lin Tian, and Lei Dong, who was eating, were left. You're tuning in to the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.